critical focus just because it unlocks like some of those really good critical feats, but like I don't think I'll actually get to them because we only have probably like one more level, maybe two more.
1 and 2 if you seriously fucked up.
So the
Or
only
you
more
were
feats.
just curious, I
This is
suppose.
my last feat actually because I don't actually get a. I normally get a monk bonus feat, but my archetype replaces it.
Oh wow, I need to pick a second, third, fourth, and fifth level spell to learn. What the hell?
But then even if I was getting that monk feat, monk bonus feats ignore prereqs, so it wouldn't really. I just have to make sure I didn't grab something that I wanted to grab there, I guess. But
It's so sad. I'm like, despite like loving my homebrew game so much, I'm so eager to start Crimson Throne.
I know that
Yeah,
feeling,
sure.
like when you really like your current campaign, but you're like, man, I'm really looking forward to this next one.
Yeah,
It's the shiny glitter of something new.
hmm
right?
I don't know what I'm playing in that game yet.
I've got an
Yeah.
idea
I got a
actually.
couple ideas I've been bouncing around with. I
If
know it's not.
nobody,
I'm probably gonna play either a roguish type or a fighterish type. Like I'm not playing to play a spellcaster, so that much I know for sure.
Uh-huh.
But beyond that, I'll probably wiggle between the two depending on like somebody else wants to play a roguish character, I'll play a more fightery type guy, like a cavalier or something. I don't know. Maybe another paladin.
Cavalier would be fun. Not sure how well that plays out inside buildings, but still.
Yeah, I know. I probably would want to pick one of the archetypes that cavalier archetypes that doesn't have mounted combat because there's a couple of them, but
People always cheat because they're like, we'll just have a smaller animal to ride.
yeah,
well,
it'll
Ta-da!
be like I play a
that's
halfling
what
cavalier.
I was going to say. That's why you take a halfling or a gnome, so you can take that riding dog,
Yeah,
You
charge
can
around the
get
city.
undersized mount as a feat as well.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy.
Yeah,
Giant
but you know,
knight.
players be
Ugh.
players.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Elden Ring guy, Radagon. Radagon. Anyway, he's this massive giant, but his horse is just a normal sized horse.
Oh
Like
god.
the guy sitting on the horse and his feet
oh,
drag along the
jeez.
ground.
I still
It's
haven't played Elden Ring.
ridiculous.
Uh,
I've heard
I finished it up. It's
I've
great. I
heard
love
great
it.
things about it, but yeah, I still haven't got it.
But you have to have a high tolerance for, bashing your head against a brick wall until the wall breaks first.
See, I have a high tolerance for games to do that, except for Hollow Knight.
You found the edge of your patience in gaming. Is
I
this Hollow Knight?
can't jump. I can't jump. I just can't. I suck at jumping. I'm so terrible at jumping, and that's all that game is jumping.
Oh, sorry. Maybe somebody more familiar knows. Is there an kind of exploit that allows you to swap spells out on the fly?
Arcanist,
Yes, quick
yeah.
study. It's
Quick
called quick
study.
study.
Oh,
But it takes a standard action, I think.
It's a full round
full
action, I
round.
think,
Full
but
round,
and you have to
yeah.
have your spell book out. So
But the point is, it allows you to swap spells, which
yeah, you
is
can even do it
very
mid
But you could
combat.
also
It's
have
just
that
clunky to do it usually because
exploit
yeah.
where your spellbook like hides in a dimension. You can double
it
those
was a
up.
spell actually. Is what I that's not what I did with when
I
I
thought there
played
was
as
an
Arcanist.
exploit where you can your book is like always accessible to you.
Maybe I don't know. I don't remember seeing that, but you might be right. There's a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah,
But
there's
I know for me,
exploits are really good, dude. They're really good.
mhm. I would I would do I always just had like a wand of secluded grimoire or something, which hides it away in the ethereal plane. But it takes a standard action to bring it back. But I don't know. I very rarely ever used quick study like mid combat. I think I maybe did it once or twice, but we're like, we need this spell to deal with this thing, but I don't know. Arcanist spellcasting is already pretty flexible, so Usually it was just for those weird utility spells out of combat.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't realize I was gonna need knock today.
I'm going to try this because it sounds thematically appropriate.
Is it more lightning?
No, it's called defensive feedback. It's actually a wizard discovery that I can take with an arcane discovery, which I can take with
All my
an
enemies are
extra
just gonna
arcane
look
feat.
at you and say nope.
Well, that's fine by me. This one basically just is if I cast a spell that prevents damage, such as giving me damage reduction or energy reduction, for every 10 points of damage prevented, I can reflect 1d6 damage back to the target that inflicted it upon me.
Oh, here
Oh
we
my
go. I could
god.
take Stunning Eruption.
He has Roth. He has
It's the one
Roth, Pluto.
where you Kool-Aid man through the door or like a wall or something, and when you do, you get to stun them so that they're stunned for the surprise round plus 1 round afterwards if they don't make a save. AoE Stunning Fist, sort of. I don't know. That's probably too narrow. Actually, I might just take Stunning Fist Adept, just plus 1 to the saving DC of my Stunning Fist. Pretty good.
Hmm.
I have to manually enter spells in here because I don't know how to get the spells to load.
Easy. So up at the top where it says library, open that up and you should see modules.
There's nothing there.
And in the module thing, go to
Activation.
activation and
Load all the things.
Load all the things. You can also load the Crimson Crone Player's Guide. Conveniently there.
All right, my fancy ground is frozen now because it's loading.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, I'll keep looking at spells while that does its thing. I'm taking Silence as a 2nd level spell.
Yeah, silence is good. It's good.
Yeah, it's flexible.
Yeah, it plays its role in combats.
Ooh. Are we likely to get are we likely to face more swarms in this campaign?
Do you have Scry? Or Augury, or what is it? I don't
Well,
know.
there's a feat
See
here.
into the future.
Yeah, there's a feat here that makes it so when a swarm attacks you by landing in your space, you can attempt a reflex save to avoid the damage, and if it succeeds, you also avoid any of the other effects of it. And if you have improved evasion or evasion, like those apply to it as well. So I could just be like, yeah, I just reflex save, and now I'm immune. As long as I can make my reflex save, I'm immune to damage from swarms. DC equal to the swarm's distraction save DC plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
I still wouldn't be able to hurt them very well, but at least I would never die to them.
You could just stand in it.
Just standing there and just be dodging all of it.
And then your friends are like, friend, we can't AoE, get out. And you're like, it's fine, do it anyways.
I mean, I can technically still hurt them with the thing that puts elemental damage on my fists. Like, it's just not AoE, so it'll take me forever to kill anything,
Yeah.
but I can
Man,
hurt them at least.
That's always famous last words. Don't worry about it. I have a high reflex save. Blah.
I know. Well, I've improved evasion, and that applies. So even if I fail it, I still take half damage from the
Yeah,
storms.
fair enough.
So
It's like I've seen it so often, so many
yeah.
times. Yeah, just fireball me. It's okay. And then the enemy makes their save and the guy doesn't. And it's like, okay.
But the question is was the player mad afterwards?
The one that said, don't worry about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the kind of player they are.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I'm just gonna take improved the stunning strike one.
I was avoiding this before. I'm taking blindness, deafness.
That's
I didn't want a
fine.
repeat of Whiz Pops, but I don't know what
You
else to take for
you
third
like that
level.
spell too much.
It's so
Well,
fun.
always okay. So, as a spontaneous caster, this is how I would approach it because you don't just have a book and you can change your spells anytime you want. Step back, look at your list as a whole. And does
Be
it
like,
have
what am I missing?
holes in it, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you have too much of one thing that does the same thing? If so, you're probably doing it wrong.
Whatever.
But yeah, you
yes and
gotta.
no.
That's what I learned with Amarcia because, like, when I took Amarcia, I was like, oh, well, I can convert elemental damage to cold, and that's all I ended up bringing. But like, most of the stuff ended up just all being reflex save spells, and so it's like, well, what's the point if I got like 20 reflex spells and they have really good reflex?
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't need it. Luckily, retraining's a thing, but MRC did the next best thing. She just became a genie instead. She's a Marid now.
Oh, that's right. This is also the level where I have. Oh man, I get like 2 more attacks this level.
Oh,
'Cause I
wait.
get an extra flurry attack.
Nice.
I apologize. I haven't
Uh-oh.
updated my hit points.
Okay.
I actually have 123 hit points. So there we go. I'm satisfied
Starfox,
now.
do you have fortification?
I don't. I have something called a buffering cap, which will
That will
negate
do once.
one critical, turns it into non-lethal, but other than that, I don't.
There's a spell I could take that would give you fortification, but it's minutes per level, which is like, Yeah.
Spells like that, they don't last very long, and they're so specific because it's like,
Yeah, that's the problem I
how
have with it.
often are you going to get crit unless the thing is dual wielding, scimitars?
Wait.
Then it has improved crit. But
Pluto, you like strength, right?
Sure.
Do you want +8 strength?
I mean,
Is it an
probably.
enhancement bonus? What kind of bonus is it?
It is enhancement, so
I
it
don't
wouldn't
think I.
stack with.
Yeah, but I don't have a belt of strength.
Oh,
I have a
Okay.
belt of con and dex. So that's what I was just talking
Yeah.
about earlier. I was like, I got those, which in some ways I think is better because they short my weaknesses more. Because I'm fine at doing damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this 4th level cleric oracle spell. Mighty strength. It's bull strength except +8. That's pretty big.
Fran's gonna be really swole. Like, really, really swole.
It's not in this thing though. So mighty. Wait, where's Bull's Rush?
Spell like that can give you stretch marks when it goes away.
Bull's strength, and then we rename it,
That's so weird. Why?
and then change it to
Why
8.
does my hit points say 1?
Hmm.
That's better.
Let's see. Oh wait. This is personal.
Why is it that I've increased my base attack bonus to +11 and it isn't automatically like realizing that I have another attack? Like, I'm not sure what's going on here.
I'm sorry, what's going on with it?
Well, I should have 3, like, my iterative should be 3 numbers now, right? Like, I should have a -10 attack now because I'm at +11 base attack bonus. But it's not doing that automatically in the sheet. It only shows 2 attacks still.
Yeah, you gotta change that.
What?
So, over the number of attacks, change it to 3.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, I remember now.
Sorry, Pluto. Your strength bonus spell is personal, so I can't use it on you.
Don't forget to change your guys' caster levels. Looks like Pluto already did, but yeah. Some of the things just don't automatically happen.
Yeah.
So,
I did do that one.
It's not showing it properly on here, but I'm not gonna. I'll just remember I have 3 attacks at plus 13, and then I have my normal iteratives.
Ah,
For
here we
all
go.
of
Here's the
your
spell.
attacks, or like just your power attack one you have set?
Why? Yeah, like I have the one that says Dragon Style because the first attack is at ×2 strength, and then everything else is at times 1.5. So what I'll have to do is I'll roll my Dragon Style
Mm,
one, and
so
then
you see the magnifying glass after the damage
oh
dice
yeah, yeah,
box?
I could go and extend it out. It does looks like it caps out
Yeah.
at 4 though, and I have 5 attacks technically. So
Does it really cap? Lol.
I mean, it looks like it does. There's only 4
Oh yeah,
fields.
there's only 4 boxes, so I guess so.
I don't know if there's a way to like add more boxes or what, but
Nah,
I mean, it kind of makes sense if you're dual wielding. You probably have one for each weapon, you know. So flurry's just weird because it's sort of like dual wielding, but not really.
Okay. Am I done? I think I'm done. Spells are done.
I guess with flurry,
Revelation's
you
done.
could just hit the button twice and like
Oh yeah,
not
then
have it. Yeah, you know
well,
what I
that's
mean.
kind of what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna hit the 13 for Dragon Style. I guess what I could do. Well, no, that doesn't quite work. But anyway, yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll roll one at 13 from power attack, and then roll the 3 extra, like the rest of them. I can do those 3 at a time, basically.
I never increased my BAB from last level up, so I had to increase it by 2 this time. Which also means I didn't increase my saves. Except I did, I just didn't increase my BAB. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think my the +3 attack's very likely to hit, but the new +13 attack probably will hit fairly often.
We'll see how many buffs we can give you, Pluto. I did not take any new ones though, I don't think.
He doesn't usually get hit. Oh, you mean
To
offensive buff?
give him
Yeah.
offensive buffs, but I didn't bring any. Well, because I thought about bringing that one that's like haste, but it's literally Frand that would really use it the best.
Oh yeah, Blessing of Fervor. But Blessing of
Yeah,
Fervor also has some meta magic stuff you can do with it. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. Oh, I didn't do a feat. That's what I forgot. I don't
but
think it
yeah, it probably
matters.
would be pretty much me and the fox, I guess, and maybe stuff that gets summoned by boy. But the problem with that stuff is it's not an aura, so you have to like wait until they get summoned and then you put it up, I guess.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
spells like that don't.
Pluto, feats for level 11. We're not getting spell perfection, so no meta magic.
I mean, you can still take meta magic.
I mean, I can still take Quicken, but what's Quicken? Is it -4 or +4? I mean,
Yeah, I think so, or +5 actually. I don't remember for sure.
it's not
It's
5.
pretty
There's
high.
no way. Quicken spell +4. So I could cast first level spells quickened right now. Quicken, Command, Shield of Faith. Yeah, Cure Light Wounds, Bless. I mean, Quicken Bless not bad, but
Do I have
I don't think it's worth
more?
the slot.
I don't have more key points. Okay, so that's still 10. But I do have more Stunning Fist.
Alright, we're just gonna take Toughness. It's 1 per level, right?
3 at the
Yep.
first level?
Yeah, it doesn't matter
Or
now though.
yeah.
It's 3 at the first level, but then you don't get any for
Oh,
level 2 and 3. So
gotcha.
it ends up just being 1
It's
per
Yeah.
just
level.
early HP. That's why
They
it's
just front
good
load
like
it.
at level 1, yeah.
If you get it right then, yeah, it's not bad.
See, so that's part of why even though I haven't taken toughness, part of why I decided to take the key point as a favorite class bonus. I was like, extra key point for a feat is just 2 key points, which you make that at level 8. So if I get to level 12, then it was more efficient because I could if I was gonna take like it's worth more than the feat basically. Whereas the hit points just toughness. So like I could just take toughness and
Yeah. Well, my hit points were pretty low. Like I was at 80 hit points, so yeah.
yeah. Mine would be pretty low if I didn't have this belt. If I got rid of the belt, let's see what does it do. Yeah, then I have 92 for a frontliner.
I'd say I'm at 91 with toughness, and that's because I've been taking the favored class for halfling for Oracle this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're also a oracle, not a monk. Although oracles are D8,
No, I'm D8.
D10,
Yeah,
so it's not like that huge a difference, I guess. But
and I have the 14 con. It's literally just favored class,
yeah,
but it's worth it. I have SR. My SR goes up. I'm at
stunning fist,
SR
DC
26 now.
15. I think it's supposed to be 19.
I
'Cause I have
love this scaling SR. It's gonna be
yes.
SR 28 next level.
I'm never gonna cast a spell again.
You just use stuff that doesn't challenge spell resistance.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Create Pit.
I'll just summon things all day long.
Add acid arrow. Summon
Yeah.
elemental.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely summon elementals. That's a good plan. I definitely didn't take dismissal this level up.
Yeah, but how many?
I mean, I'm a spontaneous caster.
Right, but how many?
How many
Like-
can you just spell in a turn?
Oh, in one turn? One.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
I can summon
You
3
didn't take
elementals
banishment.
in one turn.
No, I didn't take the big boy one.
Aw.
I took what did I take? I took silence, I took blindness, deafness, dismissal, and slay living because I feel like we might need a little bit of
Slay
damage.
living. Oh, jeez. Gigi's gonna kill.
When Gigi's backed into a corner,
Gigi's
he's
looking a
gonna
little
slay
whiz
you.
poppy.
Like, I have killed before, and I will kill again.
You have killed, therefore I must kill you.
Yes.
No, I don't know. I've been mostly playing my plan this whole time was kind of to play GG as more of a pacifist, except that Matt was also doing that to an extent. So then I had to adjust a little bit, which is fine. I've been having a great time on GG.
Yeah, none of my saves went up this
And I've still been focused on like healing and like, but he also did the heal skill unlock, which I didn't realize he was playing a healer when he said he was going druid.
Well,
Like,
he's
I
not
could have
really
played.
going healer.
Well, no, he's not, but he can heal.
Yeah, but that's just a druid thing, just like that's a cleric thing.
You know,
It's
it's
just
Well, he also took the
He took the
he
skill
took
unlock.
The skill unlock and stuff, so he did take some extra
right,
effort into
but the
doing healing.
heal skill unlock, not like the
Yeah.
cure. It's kind of different. Like
Oh yeah, no, they're different and it's fine.
his is just more thematic over anything.
I just
yeah.
as an oracle, I get it automatically, and I wanted to play an oracle, so here we are. Which is it's working great. We're always high health, especially with Star Fox's build where he wants to get hit. It works really well to have 2 healers or 2 people who can help him out of a pickle.
Well, at this point, I believe that the issue is that nothing's attacking me anymore. So that's the greatest form of
Yeah.
healing, is not taking damage.
Yeah, I mean, I do have command, so if they're mind effect, I can command them to attack you.
Well, I was wondering if I think I mentioned it before. If you use a suggestion, attack that guy, is that considered a self-destructive suggestion under the circumstances? Would they get a
I don't
bonus to
know.
resist it?
I could switch one of my spells to be that. I don't know what it. I'd have to go look it up. I haven't used
Which
it before.
spell are you referring to?
Suggestion.
No, suggestion wouldn't be strong enough to make them. I mean, well, you might. I mean, I guess if they're already looking at him as a foe, you could suggest not to attack yourself, but I don't know if you can be specific. I mean, you might be able to be specific.
Well,
I think you
it's a
feel
question
you
of like
could. You-
attacks Aranaxis
It's
instead
purely
of Frey
hypothetical,
Yeah,
right?
it's
in
that
a
guy.
combat. But then if they
Right.
know that attacking Aranaxis is going to hurt them, that probably does that count as like
Then it
you
might
can't
be.
suggest something that would cause them like self-harm,
You can't
or else
suggest
it's a higher will save
that
or
something's going to
whatever.
cause them harm, so it wouldn't work. Theoretically.
If they know what would happen, I guess.
Not even if they knew, like, I think just mechanically.
Okay. So I'd have to have something more powerful than suggestion,
Yeah, you would need
Command.
to command.
which suggestion's not even on my spell list anyway. So
Yeah.
well, command is
Actually, command isn't
actually weaker,
even.
but
Well, there is like a
I would need
second level to
Now,
dominate.
command would work, I
command.
think.
Yeah,
But command's very specific and super
very
short
specific.
duration. Like it's just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
You have a list of like 5 different words, and
Yeah.
it lasts for like one round.
and I could command attack, and it
Or
wouldn't
you use
necessarily
greater
be this
command,
guy or that guy.
Or
which
greater command, yeah.
we just discovered actually lasts for a considerable amount of time
I've
in another
never seen
campaign.
this. There's a greater. It's right here under command. I just never read it.
Mm.
One creature per level affected. So if I see, I can't tell them to attack though. That's not an option.
Right. Right.
Mm.
So, anyways, I'd have to be like wizard dominate person to really make good use out of like
Alternatively, you take the
that.
Ascendant spell Meta Magic feat, and then you cast Mythic Command, where that one does the same thing as Greater Command, kind of, except that if they make the save, they're staggered.
What?
Jesus, mythic
There's an
stuff is
ascendant spell
crazy.
meta magic?
Yes, the Meta Magic feat. I think it's +3 or something, or +4. I don't know. It's pretty high.
How have I never seen this before?
I don't know.
This
Just
is
nobody's used it in the
excellent.
game you've been in. I almost took it on Amon, actually.
Oh, it's not on the D20 SR PFSRD. That's why.
Yeah, use Archives of Neithys.
Yeah, if I was on AON, then I would
Yeah.
probably have seen it.
It's on PFSRD.
Is
Ascendant
well,
Yeah.
okay.
spell.
It wasn't listed on the meta magic page.
No, it's under
Okay.
the mythic section. You have to go to mythic.
That-
Oh yeah, mythic is non like.
yeah, you can't actually use it yet though, because
Yeah.
Ascendant spell uses slots 5 levels higher than the spell's actual
Oh
level.
my god.
But the mythic versions of spells are generally, a couple of them at least, are really good.
That's crazy. +5?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Quicken was the highest.
Nope.
Dang. See,
I
it's under
remember when
mythic
I
feats,
first started
okay.
looking at being like a player on Roll20, there was like so many games with like mythic, and I was like, well, I don't know anything about Pathfinder, so I'm not going to play these mythic stuff. But now that I know
Yeah.
more about mythic, I still don't want to do it. It sounds like so much management.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as popular now as they were back then, because I
It
think
just
back then it was the new shit, like the mythic.
I see.
I think the mythic uh rule set was new at that time back
Probably,
then.
yeah. It was
It seems
quite a
like it
while
would
ago.
amplify all the
Yeah.
problems of having like imbalanced parties.
Well,
Yeah.
I struggle with like even remembering use half my shit already to begin with, you know. So it's like I just don't want more chores as a player.
I'm
And as
right
a
there
game
with
Speaking
master,
of
you.
which,
I can't even
remind me,
imagine.
I have blind sense 30 feet. I have dark vision 60 feet. I have wings I can activate as a swift action. Like all the stuff I just never hardly use. I just got the wings
Right.
this level up, but yeah, I
But
hear
there'll
ya.
be
I
that
forget
one
about stuff.
moment. That one moment. And it'll be epic. It'll be great.
That's actually part of the reason why I haven't played classes like Rogue. It's because trying to remember all the different abilities and things you can do, I find it a lot easier just to look at my spell list. Just be like, this is what I can do on my spell list.
Nah,
And that's
rogues
it.
have less options than spellcasters.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have like different like feats and
It's not that
Yeah,
many,
most of them-
but they're all
and-
like
A lot of
I
them
don't
are
know,
like
passive,
very
I guess.
specific or very like you just increased your numbers, like that kind of thing.
okay.
So
Right. Yeah.
you actually don't have to remember very much to play. That's part of
I
why I
see.
was saying I might just play like a rogue again for next game,
Do
because
it.
you know
Because I'm
I don't
also
have
doing
to
the
worry
Trap
about.
Finder this time.
Dear
to do it when
Fantasy
you already-
Grounds, Pluto doesn't like your character sheets and creating spells. It's too much. It's too much.
It is too
You
much.
just, I don't understand. Like all you do is you just drag and drop it from the library into your spell list, and then you may have to fix
You have
it
to
when you use
edit
it.
them. Like 90% of them need to be edited.
Yeah, and most of them
Yeah,
don't actually
I'm
give you
sure
the-
the ones I dragged and dropped need to be edited, but like the text is there for me to know how it works.
That's true. That's
Yeah, I'm
And
not
then
worried
I
about
can
that
figure it
part.
out from
I
there.
just,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to deal with it, so I'm not going to.
It's Leviosa, not
Yeah.
Leviosa.
I've had a lot of fun playing. I've also had a lot of fun playing like the simpler mechanical characters. You
Well,
know,
we've
like
needed it. I mean, if there's one thing we need in this party, it's a martial character. We were
That
lost
hurts.
before you got here,
What
friend.
do you mean? I was up there in the front line tanking
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
best
you're
of them.
True.
yeah. I mean, you're up there, and you're the only one doing damage before, and now at least we have 2 people who can do damage.
Actually, Fox is turning into a beast.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You know
I'm
what's
ready to
so
go, by the way,
interesting is
Secret.
like I never intended on Matt to take Fox as a companion, but he decided that he wanted to do that. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Sure.
But yeah.
It
I mean,
Sure,
I
why
think
not?
that's nice because that's like definitely one of the defining features of this game is
It's
Fox.
just it's not a proper companion. It doesn't have a proper companion stat block, so it had to be winged.
Yeah, but it's worked. I mean,
Yeah, it's true. It did work.
I mean that is one of the advantages of homebrew is you can just run with it, right? If a player says, "Hey, I'd like that as my companion," then it's like, okay,
Okay, yeah,
sure.
yeah. Yeah. Is everybody else ready then?
yeah.
Yeah, I've got my new
I
spells
think
all
my
in here.
sheet's all set up too. I'm just typing in some stuff right now, like stunning fist adept, putting the feet into onto my sheet. But yeah, everything's ready to go.
All right. Well, last time, you guys had decided to try to follow Cirsa and met her at
Right.
the Dark Stronghold, which you guys discovered is indeed ruins. And when you ran into her, she had some friends in the vicinity, some dark dragon.
They didn't seem like friends, though. I got the impression she wasn't happy they were there either, although I could be misreading that.
So you guys had fought them, and she never like directly attacked you guys. And you guys were able to deal with the dark dragons and talk her down. And combat had ended, and we had ended session there where you guys were going to talk to her about that, I suppose. Can't remember what the map was called. Let me see. No. Dang it. Well, we don't need the map, but yeah, so
I can get to it actually. Just double click my token, right?
yeah, I have like
Yeah,
a
there we go.
gigantic list of words and I don't remember.
It's GL Ruined Courtyard Original Day.
Ruined. Okay, I typed in ruins and I didn't get what it was. Ruined. Okay, there we go. Found it. I'll get everybody on there so you guys can have a conversation. Why is she
Good, then I don't have to
invisible
do
to
it.
you guys again? Okay, seems about. All right. So combat has ended, and Alan hasn't come out of the bushes yet. Is there anything you guys want to like directly say to her first?
I say I think it's all right, Elmon. You can let Alan and Cirsa talk to each other.
Okay.
Because Elmon was like guarding
Yeah.
him.
So yeah, you guys will all start, collecting yourselves after the fight, and Alan will step out of hiding And he'll start approaching her and say, Circe, is that you? And she gives a sharp look over at him, like, just really quick, like, what? Who? Who are you? And he's like, me. It's me, Alan. Remember? She's like, Alan. Alan, you're much bigger now. And he laughs and he says, you are too. She says,
Whoa. Never call a woman big.
She says, no, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I wanted. She looks frustrated.
Can you just quickly remind me, what was she trying to accomplish back at the with the time?
Roll back time.
I think she wanted to go back to when they were kids, but she's learning
Okay.
the harsh lesson that you can never go back.
Never go back.
You can never go home.
Okay, so he says to her, what do you mean, Circe? What is it that you wanted? And she begins to cry.
Aww.
And she tells her story of how she missed him when he left, and as soon as he left, all the other town's kids and adults made fun of her, and there was nobody to protect her, and she grew up getting bullied constantly to the point where she became vulnerable, and emotionally vulnerable, when she got into the shack and the Lich found her. And she said that ever since the Lich, or she had found the Lich, or they found each other, I guess you could say, he started training her. She wasn't getting bullied anymore. However, she has a dark story to tell that the Lich had brought her to a mental state at some point where she ended up destroying those who had made her miserable.
Oh.
And she feels awful about it. And when they discovered talk, she started realizing that there might be a way out of this situation she put herself in. To go back in time to where it all started when Alan left.
Well, according to Elmon, time travel doesn't solve any problems.
It doesn't. It's terrible. I lost my life. Wasted away.
In a way, we're all time travelers anyway.
That's right.
We're all
Traveling
traveling
forward.
That's right. We're all traveling forward into the future.
Ooh.
Instead of
1
trying to
hour,
fix the past, you should be trying to fix the future.
1 hour per 60 minutes.
Right. Or else the future may change.
It's about 10 rounds in a minute. That's how fast we're
Yes.
traveling into the future.
Yeah, I'll tell her, like, your life's not over. You still have plenty of life left.
And you still
Right.
have somebody that cares for you. Came
Yeah.
all this way to find you specifically. That must mean something.
It's true, Circe, I did. I came all this way to see you. She says, well, there's still a problem.
The Lich?
Uh, the Lich, I don't know so much if he's a problem as so much my master and the Lich's master.
Oh, curious. I
I didn't
wasn't
even.
aware that the Lich served the master.
Yeah, he didn't seem the type, but
The Lich forced me to join Zog's army
Yes.
to get intel, to get closer, among other things.
So
But the
Zog is the
Lich
master.
does not serve Zog.
Oh,
The Lich forced you to serve Zog, but he himself doesn't. That is interesting.
I'm confused.
I
Have you
don't
met Zog?
know. Yes. Uh,
Hmm.
Unfortunately. It's not very nice, I can tell you that. But I don't fear Zog. The
What
Lich
brought you to
seems to
this?
be on his own agenda. I don't know much about where he is or where his master is, but it sounds like, from my understanding, and again, this is only stuff I've gathered from my readings of the Lich. I think the Lich is working for the goddess of destruction.
Okay.
Which supposedly she's locked up somewhere. I don't know. It never happened during my lifetime, but I believe it. And I don't know what to do about it. Which I also thought that rolling back time might give me more time to solve that problem, I suppose. But yes, Zog's minions were here to check up on me many times.
And what brought you here now? Why did you flee here?
Mm, I thought it would be a good hiding place.
Hmm.
It's
We only found this place because we had a tracker, right?
Yeah, you guys had a
Or
map that she marked.
yeah, okay.
well, what are you gonna do now?
Good question.
I think we were probably gonna go with Alan back to what's it called?
Aureus? Aurum? Aurea?
And just
To
made an
Aria, yeah.
interesting discovery, but apparently Zog is banned in Twitch.
Huh? Like the name?
Yeah, the name Zog. My friend was like, Zog rules! In Zog we trust! And Twitch is like, this isn't permitted. Do you want to allow this in your chat? And
Weird.
Zog's like highlighted in all of them, like it's a bad word or something. Huh.
It's like how my name in the League of Legends chat filter gets like
Right,
starred
Bobo.
out too. Yeah,
Because it means fool in,
I
I don't know.
guess, yeah. Some
Yeah.
language. But it actually it even would put it in the chat log, like it'd be starred out when it shows like my name, not even just somebody like referencing it.
Right.
I get started out there too. Like, why would they even let me have this name if it was such a big issue?
Don't ask questions. I'm sorry, Starbucks, did you ask a question?
I
Um,
did.
What was it?
Um, so I asked what was she gonna. I said, what are you gonna do now? Like
mm,
we're probably going back with Alan to Arya, but
Alan says, well, now that I found Cirsa, I might stay longer.
okay, that's fair. But we might try to go catch that boat because I think we have some unfinished business in Arya.
hmm
Although I hate to return back to Arya without having fulfilled our other request that we got there.
I know exactly what you mean.
Well, Cirsa says to you guys, um, I should probably disappear, from Zog's eyes at least. I don't know if I can hide from the Lich forever. But I might as well tell you what I know about Zog. It seems that he has been building a great airship.
Oh, an airship, you say?
Yeah. We've heard of those things from tales, but none has actually existed. So it's hard to believe that it's gonna happen, but I've been there. I've been to Scandi. It's happening. He's building it. He's also enslaving people from towns to do the work. He's sending out troops to go enslave more people to continue building this airship.
Well, we shut down one of his major operations at the forge.
That was you guys? Yeah, he
Indeed,
wasn't too happy about that. But unfortunate for you guys, that wasn't the only forge location.
That place is making like metal sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Is that for the like part of the airship where people are in, or is the part where the air is in, is that metal?
I'm no engineer. I just know they're making it.
Interesting.
did somebody call for an engineer? Well, we know that the ancients had technology to do it because it weren't those ships that brought us from spring. Didn't they flew through the air, right? They didn't float on the water.
They could float on the
They
water, but
hovered,
yes,
right?
they hovered.
They hovered, right?
But
So
yeah, they have a
I'm in
flying
a
ability.
right now. I am imagining like a giant sized warship that hovers up in the air, just like those boats did. And he's been interested in the ancient technology, or as well. So it stands to reason that he can do this. Maybe we need a giant robot with a big death laser to stop him. Oops. That was a quest item we destroyed.
Oh, it might still be in the volcano somewhere.
Sure. I mean, it's possible that it's tough enough to survive that, and then we just need to
Maybe.
get like Boy to turn into a fire elemental and swim down there.
Heat it up. The volcano might not be active right now. It might just be all hardened magma.
Then an earth elemental.
Mm-hmm. No.
But
Laser robot. Psh. Just build your own. You got some ox. You got some ox friends. They'll help you. It'll take forever though.
I'll take craft construct.
There you go.
We'll turn this into the world of Arcane. Invent hex tech.
Yeah.
I'm down.
That's
Um,
that's gonna be the epilogue.
When's the next season?
so Circe says that if you guys plan on going to Scandi at all,
Yeah, where's the world map? I've been looking
you
for that.
should you should be extremely discreet
Be
about it, I
afraid.
guess. If you
Very
can.
afraid. Thank you.
You don't want to get spotted there. You will
there.
probably die.
Well, we need
She
to
says
go to
the
Oria.
Dark Dragons are aware of who you are.
Mm.
You have wanted posters all over the city.
Oh, in fact, we have to find our mentor. They took her about a year ago. I wonder where they're holding her.
Wait, what? I've never heard about this.
Gigi, do you have the
Hasn't been a
powers
year,
to?
has it? No, it hasn't been a year.
I was pretty sure years passed, but I could be mistaken.
Oh, maybe. Let me see what these log entries say.
I thought it was like
Nothing.
a few months.
Oh, I
but
lost
don't
all
know.
my log entries when I.
Can you-
Oh, dang.
Contact the spirits to see if they know where she might be held, or is that a boy thing?
He's referring to Sarah. Oh, I guess Fran doesn't know who Sarah is.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about?
I don't know any spirits.
So,
If we find a mirror, I could scry.
yes, the mirror. Yeah, actually, that would be good. I now support trying to get Gigi a mirror.
As you didn't before.
So what set us on our path was that the Dark Dragons attacked our village and devastated it, and we learned that our mentor at the village was taken prisoner. She revealed herself to be a white dragon that we were unaware of growing up under her tutelage. And she did what she could to protect the village and give us enough time to escape. And on our journeys, we found that she wasn't killed by the Dark Dragons, but she was taken prisoner. We don't know where she is being kept right now, though.
And you also learned that the weapon she holds.
And she has one of the keys as well. So
Well,
The
she did
staff.
at least.
It did, at least. It's very.
no, yes, that's right.
Did the Dark Dragons take her? I don't remember. Okay,
Well,
so it was
I
someone
mean,
else. It was
nobody
like,
witnessed it. You heard from a villager who said they saw, but
Okay.
nobody actually witnessed.
yeah, I always thought that was like a maybe thing, but it seems pretty likely that she
Yeah,
was
you're not
taken.
sure. There was like evidence that there was a huge battle between like very powerful wizards or sorks or something, but there was no information for you guys to determine if anybody died, where they are. It's just,
And we were like
yeah.
first level characters. We didn't know much.
But you guys were also like turned to stone for a duration because she had tricked you guys into a spell where all of you guys were like petrified during this
I forgot
time.
about that. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
So when you came out of your petrification, you really didn't have any information.
We got stoned together.
You sure did.
Okay. Well, yeah, if we find a silver mirror worth 1,000 gold, I can scry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are going to Oria at least because we still need to get that, and they are rich.
Yep, that is the plan.
Find it likely that they'll have. In fact, 1,000 gold piece mirror might just be a generic mirror that they have in like a peasant
And
hut.
yeah, that's true. They're very wealthy.
We might be able to go borrow one from Grandma's house.
It's true. Although I have to admit, having not fulfilled her request yet, I'm a little ashamed to go back.
Yeah, maybe we should deliver the. What was that? Was that the deliver the bread?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
but it's
maybe
to
we should do
somebody
that
that.
before seeing her.
It was to an elfin prima.
But the elf wasn't in Prima, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the
You
elf
And
went
then
to the.
You didn't find an elf who said
The
he
elf-
wanted bread or expected
Well,
of
no,
delivery.
didn't
Oh
he
no, the
go?
elf went to save someone, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
The
and
elf
that's what you
went
guys
And we
on.
went to
heard?
save him,
Yep,
and then we
and we
had
had
no one come after us and save us.
correct.
Yep.
We had to make very absolutely certain that nobody was coming to try to rescue us if we didn't come back, because if they did,
But
then Primo was doomed because everyone would just leave the city all trying to go save the next person.
but that elf got himself free, right? We got there
the
and
elf
he
was
was already
never there.
gone.
Yep.
He was never there. Okay.
And you don't really know who he was trying to
Oops.
rescue either, because oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
and
you know
then
what?
we didn't get any
either.
more information, I guess. So okay, if we get a mirror, I can scry on the
I
elf.
was just
Oh,
gonna
there you
say
go.
the mirror solves that problem
Yes.
too. This mirror
Okay.
plan, I'm really getting behind it here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we should do that, and we need teleport. Oh boy.
I actually have that.
Ooh.
Oh, we can go places.
I remember I picked it up a
I
little
thought you
while
might have.
ago.
You know, in this point in the game, one of your characters can now transform into a bird, and you like fly around the map.
Oh,
Let me check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have teleport.
But no, none of you guys are turning into birds, unless you really want to. It's just-
And before that, you have Gobi in your party.
Yeah.
True.
That would have been Nina. Fran never met Nina, but Nina would have been an NPC that you would have taken to become a party member. She has a little dagger. She's a healer. She casts healing spells.
yeah, we're missing that in our party.
The let's see, when we met that would have been party members. It would have been that
Gobi.
yeah, Gobi would have been a party member. Karn would have been a party member. Maybe Mogu.
Yes, Mogu. There's a lot. There's more.
Yeah, those are the ones I can think of that I think for sure would have been. I don't think Circe or Alan would have been
Ox, one of the Ox people.
one of the Ox people. Okay.
And then you never met Bo, but he's one of the fox people.
Huh. Okay.
They're not like dog people, they're fox people. Anyways, but or wolves, I
Where-
guess you could say. More like wolf people.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember fox people. The cat and the dog people.
He's in the game, he's very yellow or orange white, but I guess it would be like
Okay.
a wolf, but yeah. Blue would be a party member as well. Which Blue is an interesting one because like you meet her just kind of pretty much how you guys did, but then you come back to her later again for like another reason, and then she's like, "I'm bored. I'm gonna come join you."
Okay.
It's been sleeping forever. Now it's time to have some fun.
Wait, was she the snake lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
She casts like very powerful magic spells. You pretty much just start spamming her spells all game.
I
At that
remember
point.
her. She
Yeah.
was who we met when I first joined the party, basically.
Mm-hmm. I think that was it. There was like 8. And then there's a thing where you find morphing abilities where some of your characters morph with Karn. So Karn starts to like morph. So you can morph Gobi and Karn and Ox and Karn, and there's like 3 of them. It's like Ox or Gobi, Bo, and Karn,
Hmm.
and they become like stronger. It's pretty cool. Wow, I don't know. It's a good game. If you guys ever feel like playing a turn-based.
So they like fusion dance or whatever.
Yeah, like once you like fuse them, they become this whole new entity, and then those characters aren't available to switch in because you have like four people on the battlefield at once. So if you need to like switch the other ones in, they're grayed out at this point, so you can't. So you would have to unfuse if you needed to get them because, like, let's say your party's wiping and you're like, oh my god, I need to get somebody with health in here, and like, yeah, you can't do that at that point. But like one of his fusions is so fucking strong, it's ridiculous. It's like it does like max damage on every attack. I don't know why this thing exists, but it does. So yeah, like I know where you guys want to go, but where do you go right now?
I guess our Sursa and what's
Alan,
his name? Alan.
they're going
Are
into
Alan.
hiding.
are
Yeah, we're
they
gonna stay
happy?
here and go into
Okay.
hiding.
Okay,
So you
so
don't need to teleport us if you're
she's not
planning to do
super
that.
depressed anymore, hopefully. She's like, I wasted my whole life time traveling.
Well,
She's
she
got some
still
issues
kind
to
of
work
feels
through,
that way, but yeah, she needs to
but
go
hopefully
have a
Alan will
normal.
help her through those issues.
Okay. Um. Okay. Well then, how many of us are there?
Actually, yeah, let's
Fox
we
and
might
boy.
still need to have
Nah,
to
just
take
leave them
Gobi.
behind. They're not. Fox and Boy aren't here.
We'll be here
So
when
there's
you
only
get
3 of
back.
us. Haha, haha.
Um,
Oh,
so
sorry, Matt. You're across the world.
Sorry, Matt, you're still in Carmen. You know.
Figure it out.
the range on my spell is
Uh,
between 1,100 and 1,300 miles. So I guess the first question is that enough to make it to where we want to go? I don't know what the map.
To where are you trying to go?
Arya, I think.
yep.
Oh god, I don't know distance wise.
Oh, you can just say yes.
You can just say
That
the
works.
spell can.
Or no. I
Or,
mean,
Yeah.
technically, we still have
or,
Gobi to use if this doesn't work.
I mean, we can always take it in
or
2
the
trips
boat,
too.
or the boat that was coming to pick Alan up originally, like
Yeah.
that he was
Yeah,
gonna
That's right.
that's
We
ride.
true.
were gonna take that boat, weren't we? But why would we willingly get onto a boat?
Well, Gobi's not there to blow it up this time, so probably it'll be okay.
I mean, but in any Pathfinder game, why
I
would
mean,
you
that's
ever get
fair.
on a
That's
boat
fair as well.
if you don't have to? Um,
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people, right?
plus Fox. Can Fox like unmanifest or like turn into the gem or something? I thought the Fox could
Okay.
like go into the gym and then come
So
out
I
of it.
just figured out how far 1,100 miles would be, and no, you wouldn't get to Aria from
Okay.
where you guys
Okay.
are.
And two teleports.
You'd get to Carmen though if you wanted to. It might be 3.
Where in the world is Carmen?
because You would have
San
There you
Diego.
go.
get to Carmen, then you could probably get to Bleak and then Aria with multiple teleports.
Well, I can
Really?
carry
Okay.
3 people with me, unless somebody punches me, and then I can carry the 4th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that ocean gap is wide, so it's not like it's really that small, but yeah.
Why don't we? I don't know. I mean, we can get. I'd be okay with getting on the boat.
You could
Yeah, let's
also
just.
go to Prima.
What's in Prima for us though?
Well, a major trade
Everything.
city. I suspect that
Yeah.
anything we want to buy is there.
I mean, yeah.
If that's within range, I mean, I am. Whoops.
I mean, I'm down with Prima, because then we can figure out where the elf is before going to Aria and take care of the bread. That way, we tell Grandma that we delivered her bread, and then ask her for her mirror.
Dang. You assuming she's got a rich ass mirror?
No, we're assuming she has a typical Aria mirror.
I believe she's already paid us for the services.
It's true.
Yeah, no, we do. I think we should deliver the bread before we go back to Aria. Either way, nothing to do with the mirror. Just because then we can stop by and say hi and be like, in good conscience.
Gigi's
So it sounds
paranoid.
like-
If he doesn't deliver the bread, Grandma's gonna go ham on him.
Maybe.
I mean,
Bread and
didn't
I would just feel
one of-
guilty.
it wasn't her grandma, but it was like one of the people that lives there,
Yeah.
like her
her daughter or
her
something.
daughter or granddaughter or whatever. Like told us like, yeah, you probably aren't gonna be able to like, even if you don't manage to get this delivered,
Don't
it's
worry
fine.
about
Yeah, don't worry about it. Basically,
it.
Yeah. I would still like to do it though, for completionist sake. We got 100% the game.
Oh yeah, I mean, before we fight
There
the
is
boss,
no
we gotta go
100% of the
collect
game,
all
but
the
you can
collectibles.
collect all the. Yeah, there are the collectibles you can.
I
Collect.
collected all 100 pine cones.
Yes.
Luckily, it's
Dang.
not those kind of collectibles. It's more like gear, like a sword, armor, gloves for Mogu, which you already have.
Okay. If Prima
the meta
is in
magic rod?
range, then we will teleport there. I'm good with that.
Is Prima in range, you said?
No, Prima's not in range. No.
Oh, never mind. Let's go to the boat then.
Let's teleport close and then teleport to Prima.
Teleport to Carmen.
All right, you guys teleport to Carmen, and Carmen is in motion. People are
How many
going about
people
their
did you
day.
bring with you?
I need somebody to punch me to get the fourth person that I need to.
Why do we have to punch you?
Because then I can increase my caster level of the next spell that I cast.
Is that? Can you also just
step
use an
on a
arcane
thorn? Jeez.
arcane pool to boost your cast level as well?
Well,
That's true.
the arcane pool is. Oh yeah, okay. So just a sec here. Let me crunch the numbers. I got a few
He's
different
like,
things
I
that I'm
just
working.
want people to punch me.
Damn.
It's 1 for 3.
Pretty sure
3,
you still have
6,
fire
9.
shield up. I don't know if I really want to.
Yeah.
I really want to do that.
No, okay. So you're right. I can just do it with an arcane point. Yes,
Just
Okay.
do it.
So I'll spend the arcane point. No, I
And
don't need
that
to get
may
punched
be
for this
Make
one.
your dreams come
Nicer,
true.
yeah.
Is that like a trait or a feat or something you have that lets you do that though? As well,
It
the
is
other
my
abilities?
bloodline. The
Oh, okay.
martyr bloodline.
Ah,
When
yeah,
I
yeah.
take damage, I get to add +1 caster level on the next round that I cast spells. So
Huh. Okay. Cool.
I also took that thing that augments my arcane pool that gives me +2 caster levels instead of +1.
Yeah.
So in theory, I can be getting +3 caster levels,
Yeah.
which is actually pretty significant. So
It's a break point for a lot of spells.
yeah. Okay, sounds good. I'll just teleport us over there. I spend a full round action speed reading my spell book, and learn teleport. Relearn it.
Do we have night's rest? Because I'm kind of undoing my spells.
We'll rest in Carmen.
Sure, no problem.
Yay!
You guys rest in Carmen.
Yeah, I started undoing them. Then I'm like, wait, did we rest? Maybe not.
I'm gonna. When we get there, I'm gonna try to find. When we get to Carmen, I gotta go try to find somebody's couch to sleep on. In exchange for moving
Right.
boxes or whatever.
Sweeping the porch.
Yeah.
Silence is only rounds per level? Dang it. I was gonna use it to have peace and quiet while I meditate.
It's also a well, you can cast it on yourself and it'll get automatically extended.
Yeah, but still, it'll be like a little bit over 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I need like 30 minutes minimum to meditate. That's okay though.
Is there any like reaction? Like, do they know that they were stuck in time here or anything? Like, is there any reaction to that?
If you start like quizzing and asking people, yeah, it
Like, you guys
seems
notice
like
anything weird?
yeah, all the townspeople are talking about weird feelings and effects that they had. A lot of them described it like a dream, but none of them really know exactly what happened, and they don't know that they were frozen per se, so they're not aware that time was passing. And it's not like they have like clocks and batteries and stuff, so they don't really have a real way of determining if days had passed or not. I guess when winter comes early, they might be like, oh, huh?
Right? The
Or late,
stars are
depending
in the
on when it
wrong
happened.
place. The moon is in
Yeah.
the wrong place.
Yeah, they're bound to figure it out, but yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody's aware.
All right. Well, I won't ruin the illusion for them, I guess.
Oh, okay. You're like a
But
dream. Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
if anybody would needs someone to talk to about it, I guess, then I can do that if they'll let me sleep on their couch.
Oh yeah, Marvin, he won't shut up about it. He just keeps going and going and going, and he sits you down on the couch, and every time you try to sleep, he just keeps talking about it.
Okay. Fortunately, I have the patience of a monk
Ah,
on
true.
account of being a monk.
Eventually, he winds down and passes out, but yeah.
Passes out like next to the couch, and then I go sleep in his bed instead.
There you go.
Wait, who is Marvin? That name sounds familiar.
You guys met Melvin.
Yeah.
Melvin
Who's
the elf.
Melvin the elf? I don't remember
Melvin
that.
the Elven.
In spring.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He wasn't the elf that was looking. Did we ask him if he had like a grandma and Arya? Or knew a grandma and Arya, I guess. I think
You
that was
guys
the elf.
might have, but he said no.
Okay.
Dang.
Every elf you guys run into, you're like, Are you expecting bread?
You want some elf bread? And they're like, this isn't even elven bread. I'm offended. Like, sorry, I don't know what else we're supposed to call it.
It's magical bread that doesn't expire.
He's sitting there. I would offer you some food for breakfast, but I've been waiting for this bread for so long now. I don't know what's taking the delivery people so much.
God damn it. Meal ruined.
Uber failed.
I'm retracting my tip. Alright, you guys get to Carmen, you rest, a whole night goes through, you guys don't get murdered. It's
That's a plus.
morning. And rumor in the town is that the boat's gonna be here soon for those who are leaving. Which it seems like nobody. Other than you. You find yourselves at the lone dock. It's just some
Wait,
wood
are we taking
stretched
the
out
boat?
to the sea.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
we were
don't
just
have
gonna
the ring.
teleport to Arya.
How?
Can we
Okay.
not make it from here?
It's too far away.
It's
Yeah.
too
Oh,
far
we're
away.
still not. I thought if we went here first, we would be able to make it. Okay.
No,
You would
I
have
just
to
came
make
here because
double
this
trips.
This is
This
where
is
the
where
boat
the
at
I
is.
mean, we could
boat is. Yeah.
we could go part of the way on the boat and then teleport off the boat, maybe.
True. If things
True.
get sketchy, let's teleport off the boat. I like that.
Well, things get sketchy because
Wait,
Gobi shows
but
up. Dun,
did
dun,
Star
dun, dun,
Fox roll his
dun.
D100 for the teleport?
For where? To
Oh, to
Carmen?
teleport to
getting
Carmen
here?
here.
I mean, it's not a big deal, but
He could roll 100. Isn't that bad?
not
Yeah, high rolls
necessarily.
are bad on the teleport table.
It's just further away from your target, that's all.
I thought
If you
like
roll
really
high
bad
enough,
things could happen.
if you roll high enough on it, you can have a mishap where you take damage and as well and whatnot.
I
But
guess we just heal it. So
It's fine. I'm good.
you rolled super low, which is fine because, like I
Alright.
said, you just don't want to roll high on the table.
Yeah.
I don't like missing opportunities to roll D100s in games. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I want to make sure we hit them all.
All of them, every single one of them.
Yep.
Noted. Well, Gobi comes out of the water and says, "Hey, it's my friends.
Oh, Gobi's actually
Long
here. I thought
time
you were joking.
no see."
Oh
Gobi
my God.
certainly makes the rounds, doesn't he? He's everywhere. It's amazing.
Wait, if Gobi's here, maybe it's wait. Is he the boat that showed up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought for a minute there was a boat show up, and then Gobi also showed up, and we're like, "Oh
Oh.
shit, we could have Gobi take us there instead."
Are we sure that there's not like multiple Gobis? It's like, Officer Jenny. There's just,
Ooh.
they all look identical. They all have the same name, but they're everywhere.
I mean, fish tend to look the same.
I mean,
Gobi, what do you think
sounds like
about
something
all
one
the
of the Aces of
random
Fish
sea
would say.
creatures in the ocean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I was joking. Like, Gobi, what do you think of all the random sea creatures? He's like, kill them all. They're all dangerous. Oh, it's real, Gobi.
Yeah, Gobi, what would you do if you encountered a shark,
Well, it depends.
like a really big shark?
Does it talk?
I don't know because all it wants to do is attack me.
Oh, well, then down with the shark.
Down with the sharkness.
All right, I think this is actually Gobi.
Well,
Well, I feel more comfortable knowing that our good friend Gobi is the one that is going to be transporting us on this trip.
so where are you guys going? Because this ship's going to multiple places.
I Are we still going to Aria?
Arya was still the plan?
Unless you know somewhere closer that we can get a very elaborate, expensive mirror.
I don't know about closer, but I definitely know where you can get an elaborate mirror. Are you sure you guys want to go to Aria though? I'm not sure though. I don't know if you guys should. I think I've seen your face on posters over there.
Did they get my good side?
No.
Hmm.
Well, we ought to
Yep.
go there and get that fixed.
They got my nose wrong again, didn't they?
Man, where have you guys been? Things have changed over there, you know?
Oh, in what ways?
Well, for one, the city ain't gold no more, that's for sure.
Oh, we didn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was you guys. Nobody really
Uh-oh.
knows why, but there does seem to be an awful lot more Dark Dragon troops around the city, and everybody's just staying indoors now. It's not making as much money over there.
Yeah. That I guess I'm not too surprised. The dark dragons have that effect on places. They take it from gold and make it dull and dark.
Well, I'll tell you, they'll never take Prima. You saw our defenses. We got the best.
Yeah, good to know we'll always be safe there.
True.
How about our good buddy, the best thief in the world? We left
Karn?
him in Aria. Yeah.
You
How's
did.
he doing?
Who? Gobi don't know no Karn.
Did he never meet Karn? I don't remember.
No.
Thought he was the one that introduced us, but I, again, could be completely mistaken.
He was.
So he was the one that told us about Karn,
Yeah.
and now
Well,
he's just acting
no.
like he did.
Karn
No,
told
Karn
you
told us
guys
about
about
Gobi.
Gobi. But
Oh.
Gobi's saying he
the
don't
other
know
way
no
around.
Karn.
Yeah, okay. I see.
No, that sounds familiar because I think the same thing happened with what's her name back in Tunlin, who was like, "Oh yeah, Gobi hasn't come back and visited," and like I think I even had told him this before, like, "Hey, so and so misses you." I don't remember her name. I might have wrote it down.
Oh. Does she
Anoush.
now?
It was Anoush. Yeah, I remember I told Anoush wanted to was like, "Oh, Gobi hasn't been back to visit in a long time," or something like that. And then I think when I told Gobi about Anoush, he was like, "I don't recognize that name."
That's true.
So that's pretty on brand for him. Surprised he even remembers us, but maybe he only remembers us because he sees us. And if somebody else asked, he'd be like maybe that's just something he does. He's just like, "Oh, I never heard of them." Like,
Oh
what? You don't
no.
remember? You don't remember Fran? Like, nope, never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
uh,
Gobi says, "Look, I can take you guys anywhere." But yeah, things have changed in Aria, so it's
Well,
not quite what you remember.
why don't we start with Prima? We can get the mirror and maybe answer a bunch of questions. It's central to anywhere else we want to go, and we can go from there.
all right. I mean,
Because it
we
kind of
can.
sounds like the axe might be gone from Aurea now, right?
Yeah,
Axe?
that's
What
kind of
axe?
my impression too. Don't worry about it. You probably haven't met the axe.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm cool with going to Prima as well. And I'll be right back.
Yep, I think we should do that.
Out of character. I gotta use the restroom real fast.
Okay. So unless you guys have any other things you'd like to do in Carmen, Gobi will take you guys to Prima. And it'll take
Woo!
several days, about 5, to get there, because he's got to loop around the continent. And you guys arrive to Prima. And Prima looks bustling as ever. Tons of fish. Tons and tons of fish. I can't remember if you guys have a way to breathe underwater.
We were given
You have
gills,
the
weren't we?
gills still, yeah? Okay.
Gills,
Yep.
yeah.
Excellent. You put your gills on. And every once in a while, you'll see like other beings that aren't fish swimming around, going in and out of the shop.
Well, let's go do this, Gigi.
Gobi says, I'm gonna be over at the Guildmaster. If you guys need another ride, just let me know. I'm gonna take a break.
I get
Certainly.
a guild master.
Guild master. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the shopping area. And I have my pearl thing that lets me breathe and swim underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Pearl of the Siren is or whatever. I think I have to like hold it in a hand, but whatever. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna have somebody try to steal it from you.
I think we also maybe had
Oh,
some
they
extra
failed.
gills anyway. Oh, yeah. That's what you get. Take that. The only downside here is if I am holding my staff and I'm holding the pearl, then I'm out of hands.
I technically have a mirror in my inventory, but it's
Yeah, it
only
wasn't
worth
silver.
10 gold.
You could just put the gills on.
Yeah, I'll put the gills on. I think that's what happened last time. I was just like,
The pearl's neat and all, but
I need to stop
Gigi needs
making
hands.
the Wiz Pops mistake of having a staff as my bonded object, or even
Yeah,
taking bonded object.
I've yet to take a bonded object because I don't want to.
Yeah, it takes a slot. Like maybe a ring would be fine, and then when I get a ring of freedom of movement, it's like, well, no more ring of protection. Goodbye. Anyways, so we go around the shops. Do I see a place that looks like it sells like maybe antiques or fancy mirrors or something?
Yeah,
Is
there
there a
are
mirror shop?
several.
Making the bonded item a ring actually makes it easier for you to get a ring of freedom of movement because you can turn your bonded ring
Oh,
into
you
a
can
ring of freedom of
upgrade it
movement.
without the feet.
The feet.
Correct.
Oh, that's so sick. Pluto, you're a
Just give us
genius.
a reminder of what Primo looks. Okay. Yep, you go into a shop, you see mirrors, many of them, some less expensive than others, but there are several. You get to choose, if you want a round one or a square one or kind of a weird shaped one. A
It's like you gets one
handheld,
of
a
those like
stand up one. Oh.
gets like one of those like cloud mirrors or whatever that makes you look
Distorted.
like a
All
distorted
distorted.
mirror. Yeah. And then it makes all your scrying look distorted too.
I was just thinking the
Jeez.
scrying is all messed up too. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wait, I know what
wonderful.
I can
Why
do.
did I
Where
do
is-
this? I thought it was funny at the time, but now my scrying doesn't make any sense.
There we go. Now the water effect in water.
Ooh, am I missing something?
Oh, did I not share the map?
Oh, there we go. Oh, nice. Water effect.
Oh, it's so cool.
Next level.
Yeah,
The
we're
production
gamers now.
value. That's sick.
Okie dokie. Yeah.
I'm gonna gather information about that elf. Did Elmon come with us, or did he stay with Circe and
Elmon says he was
or
gonna go
did he
to
go on his own?
Spring,
Oh
and
yeah.
he was gonna work on console a little bit, and then he's gonna make his way to the forest when he thinks he has a
Okay.
plan.
I remember that actually. We talked about that last session. So I'm gonna ask about if there's any news about that elf that we're supposed to deliver bread to. Maybe he's returned or something.
Okay.
I'm better at gathering information
Friend,
now that I
you
was
you
back
know
then.
the right words to say, and people know exactly who you're talking about. He never came back. He went to go on a rescue mission, and he's never come back. They're concerned, in fact, because nobody's living in his house right now, and I don't know.
Maybe I'll
It
go
could
check
be
out his house.
it could be useful for the market. They could be making use of it.
I mean, that doesn't sound like the right thing to be concerned about, but all right. I want to go try to like get into his house basically and look for clues. I'm gonna break in, but it's for a good reason.
Okay.
And then as I get there, I'll be like, crap, I don't actually know how to get in.
Oh no.
I believe that's Gigi's job.
Normally I could be like, it's fine. I'll like jump somewhere to like, but this is underwater, so like it's probably secure from all angles because people normally are swimming to it.
Yeah. You want me to open the door?
Yeah, I think so. Apparently, uh, our elf friend who we're supposed to deliver the bread to still isn't back. But I found out where he used to live, so maybe there's a clue about where he went. Or if nothing else, we can leave the bread at his house. That way, he'll be there
Okay.
for him when he gets home.
Hmm. Would I be fine with that? Oh, it sounds reasonable.
Let's check it out
So,
first. If we find out where he is and there's a way that we can help him, then we'll do that.
Sure.
But
I'll try and unlock the door. Yeah. You're giving me permission.
I'm giving you permission as someone who doesn't really have the authority to give you permission.
All right.
Yes.
36 on my
All right,
pick locking
Gigi, you
ability.
break into the apartment.
If
Yeah.
someone comes and interrupts us, I'll explain it to them.
All right. Well, I take a step back and say, "It's all yours, friend."
All right, I'll go inside and
All right.
try to look around for a clue to where he might be.
A clue. A clue.
All
That didn't
right,
roll very
you
good.
guys go inside, and maybe to your shock or not to your shock, but there's like hundreds of loaves of bread,
Okay.
just all about the apartment on whatever counter, every counter that could be a counter.
Okay.
Oh, I must have been missing for quite a while then.
And you dig around and you look around and you're not really finding any evidence of like where exactly he might have gone, but you see pictures of him with another person, a human, a female.
Is this when Grandma was younger?
The way they're holding each other seems more like a partner.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he's an elf, so this still could have been like a long time ago, right?
For him, I mean, you don't know his age, so you don't really know.
I guess I can't tell. Oh, that's the thing too. If it was her, I'd probably be able to tell because she would have some resemblance. So it looks like someone else is what I'm gathering, right?
Yeah, like I said, the way they're cuddling each other, you don't think that's grandma, or that's kind of weird if it was. It's probably some sort of relationship or something. Um, so there's evidence that somebody else also lived with them, given the things in the apartment.
I mean, that's probably who he went to rescue.
Hmm. But why all this bread?
Yeah, that part is kind of weird, but I assume it's just because Grandma sent other people and other deliveries of this
Well,
bread.
I'm
You know,
actually wondering if that's just she just keeps sending it, even though, and it gets like the mail builds up because whoever's there isn't there anymore, so it just never gets collected.
And the
Of
bread
course, it's
don't
inside.
expire, so you guys could start selling this bread, you know? Become like
That'd
a
be
bread factory.
stealing, theft.
You gotta
I'll take
think like the Prima fish. That's what they would do. And then they would rent out the apartment whether or not he's
probably what
alive or
they
not.
will
Whenever I'm
do
in a bind,
eventually.
I ask myself,
That's true.
WWGD, what would Gobi do?
Okay, I'll just leave a message with the bread saying we've delivered this on behest of your grandmother, I believe it was, or aunt. What was the relation?
You don't know. They
I
just
mean,
look very
she's
friendly
just
with each other in the
called
picture.
grandma, and like I think she's basically just everybody's grandma.
Yeah, I got the impression
Oh,
she was everyone's grandma, not just this
yeah, you
person's
never
grandma.
actually got her name.
Okay, I'll just leave a message that's basically on the bread, and I'll consider it delivered. This is his house. It's obviously his house, so he'll be able to pick it up when he gets back.
Or is it? Because there's just a pile of bread here that's not getting delivered to the right person.
Well, there's pictures of him
Hmm.
here.
That's true, there is. But it could be her house. Oh.
In any case, I wish this just seems like another dead end.
Well, I'm considering the bread delivered.
I mean, yeah,
Check.
at least we did that much.
I'm looking for it on my sheet.
I don't know. Maybe this elf will show up like at the end, like at when we fight Zog. He'll be like there.
Maybe he is
Like, I've
Zog.
I've joined Zog now.
He'll be like, guys, I'm ready to fight.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe this is a quest item. Maybe when we meet him in the penultimate fight, this piece of bread is what would have brought back his humanity and reminded him that there's still people out there that love him and turned him back to the good side. Oh, maybe I should keep it then.
Hmm. Is it really delivered if you haven't handed it to the person? It's like,
Um,
don't you need a signature on
no, wait. I
delivery?
used to work for FedEx. I know the answer to this. Yes, it's delivered.
I know. It
Excellent.
sucks.
Professional opinion noted.
Yes. Although I'm pretty sure actually for freight, we usually required a signature. But
I always have signature required for my deliveries
yeah.
because it's so sad. My previous employer mailed me envelopes for me to send invoices in. So he mailed me a box of envelopes, and I didn't even know it because he didn't tell me and he didn't give me a shipping date or anything. So I had no idea I was expecting a package, and I hardly opened my front door. So one day I open my front door and there's just this box there, and I'm like, okay. So I pick up the box and it's just like empty as fuck. And I open it up and it's like somebody opened the box, took the envelope box out of it, and ran off. And it's like, who? What? Why?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They didn't even know what it was. There's like it's in a box. I'm gonna steal it.
Yeah, but why not just take the whole thing? They like literally
Yeah,
opened the box, took the contents out, and ran out. So
that
literally, I
seems
started
like
thinking it was my neighbors because I was like, who in the hell had time to do that and not get noticed?
I mean the thing is too, like even if they got noticed, like most people probably wouldn't even care. They're like, whatever,
That's
not my business.
true. People always are like, oh no, I'm too busy to. But then they'll call in the cops like 2 weeks later. I saw something weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm just like signature or I know I have like all the notifications on the apps and stuff because
Or like those stories where people call the cops on their neighbor because their neighbor's black, basically. It's like what it boils down to. It's like the
jeez.
fucking so dumb. They're like he's like there was the one I saw that recently. And the guy's like, I live here. Like he showed him like his driver's license and it had his address on it. Fortunately, that one like
Oh my god.
nothing bad happened, but like they just like
It's
yeah, you
completely
live here.
unnecessary.
But
Yeah.
it
I
was still
mean,
like a waste of everyone's time, and it's still really shitty. But it could have been worse because there's one. It could have been one of those cases where the cop showed up and fucking shot him or something. You know?
Right? Yep. Bad cops can be bad cops.
Yeah.
there's a difference between like I see someone, no matter what their race, is opening a package on porch and walking away versus they open a package and walk inside the house. I
Inside
feel
the
like
house, they
that's a
yeah.
key distinction that you should probably make
No,
before
I
calling the
think this.
cops.
I think in this case, the guy was doing yard work in like his own yard.
Oh.
So, but they're like, there's a suspicious person lurking around in my neighbor's yard. It's like, no, that is your neighbor, bro.
Oh my god.
Uh,
That's ridiculous.
yeah. All right. So yeah,
We
I
need
mean,
to
I
get a
guess.
mirror to find out where this elf is. That's the only solution to the
I mean,
problem.
we see a picture of him now, and you have a mirror, so
Yeah, you know
right?
what he
You
looks
bought
like
the
now.
mirror.
Yep. And there's a
Oh, did I buy the
picture.
mirror? Okay, let's cast a spell and find out where he is. Sorry, I was doing dishes. I'm still finishing, but it's fine.
Which spell are you casting?
Scry.
Scrying. The OG. Let me walk over there real quick.
So
Will
if this
save
elf
the
has
gate.
spell resistance,
Yep, I'd have to make a caster level check. Scrying.
and there's some
Okay,
modifiers.
so you don't know whether or not he has spell resistance, so go ahead and just roll the whole spiel.
And then let's see, for the will saving
Ooh,
modifiers,
I hope he
we
doesn't.
have we have a likeness or picture of him. So that means the will save they get a -2 to the will save.
But he gets +5 because best we've
Because we
done is
only have
heard of him.
secondhand knowledge of
Yeah.
him, yeah. So he gets so
It's
far
a
he's at a net
+3.
+3.
I mean, you're in his house, so you have possessions.
Oh yeah, I was going to say just that.
garments and stuff.
Does he have his
Oh
possessions
yeah, true.
and
Fair.
Yeah, just go to his closet.
check the
Let's
washroom?
find a body part
Bits
or
of
lock of
nail,
hair.
locks
His
of
leg
hair.
is sitting in the closet. It's just his
Okay.
fucking
Gosh.
leg. No, I'm just
So I
kidding.
assume we can find like possession or garment.
We might be able to
Yeah.
find like hair or nail or something
Does he have
too,
a
if we can look
hairbrush
here.
in his bathroom?
Underwater?
I mean,
Something
you're
like that.
underwater, so I don't know.
I have it on good
No,
authority
you're
from
not
the
finding any body
documentary The Little Mermaid that people can live underwater and have hairbrushes.
Mm.
Sure, but nope, you don't find no hair because
Okay.
water
Dang.
moves shit around. It
Actually,
might
is
be
this-
on the other side of the world somewhere, but it ain't right here in this room.
Oh, you know what? That brings up a horrible thought.
Oh,
How do the fish people go to washroom in their house?
What do you mean?
Well, obviously
They-
they don't just have normal toilets. Otherwise, as you said, water moves it around.
Yeah, you're swimming in fish poo. What?
Yeah,
It
okay.
probably is like constantly like a constant drain. And anything that goes there gets sucked by the drain vortex down into
They
the
don't use
piping.
toilets. They just a
Nah,
fish
let me
passes
just-
by you and you see them poop right in front
Let
of
me
you.
just imagine in my head how this is not gross,
Is this
even
like
if it's not true.
it's like the J.K. Rowling thing where she's talking about them before they invented plumbing. They
Oh,
just
no.
poop in their pants and apparate it
But just
away.
prestidigitated away.
Yeah,
What?
Oh my
Okay.
god.
that was something she said on
Oh,
Twitter,
no,
and
you
everyone's
don't
like,
know.
"Nobody asked J.K. Rowling, thanks."
Oh my god. Okay,
The
so overall we find
after the
picture.
fact retcon that nobody needed.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
It's
needed.
one of many.
We have a picture, we have possessions. So that's -6, but it's secondhand knowledge, so it's +5. So overall he has a -1 on the save. Right?
I
I
think
think
that's right.
so. Yeah.
Okay, and the DC is 22. So it's gonna be 23 for him.
Okay, so it's this. We'll see.
And my caster level check was garbage, it won't go through any SR.
All right, you scry on the elf.
So I can see and hear the subject and his surroundings approximately 10 feet in all directions. If they move, the sensor follows at a speed up to 150 feet
He can outrun it, scrying actually.
per round.
That's funny.
Okay. For how long does the scry last?
1 minute
Minute.
per level.
So is this
11
casting on
minutes?
myself? No, it's casting on him. So it lasts 11 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So for 11 minutes, you witness he's alive. You see out his eyes, and it seems like you're in some
We don't
sort
see out
of.
his eyes. We have a sensor that's looking
You observe
on
him
the
at
area.
him. Oh, okay.
Yep.
And we only see
Okay.
10 feet in all directions of him, so we can't really see.
It
whole-
We can't
looks
see
like
big surroundings, yeah.
he's on some sort of elevator.
Okay.
Which is on the outside of some sort of really tall structure.
He's not in Prima. He's not underwater.
He's patiently going up
Okay.
this elevator, and he's on it for several minutes, so it seems like it's going really high if he's on it for that long.
Or it's a really slow elevator.
It doesn't seem that slow. You can at least observe the things passing by that it's not that slow.
Whatever it's connected to that's going by
Yeah,
quickly.
But
He's going up to the airship factory.
It stops. You seem to be at the top of some sort of platform. And he starts to approach what starts to come into sight, some sort of really giant metal thing. And he goes in,
there. Okay.
He picks up a tool and he walks up to it and starts hammering at it like he's building or fixing, working on it.
Okay, he's at the airship factory.
What?
Or a place that builds parts for airships. But why would it be up high if it's not for an airship?
Wait,
One
so
thing
he
that
is
you
actually...
do observe is that like the metal that he's working on looked a lot like the sheets of metal that you guys
that
saw.
we found. Yep.
And you guys also remember you saw some sort of like teleportation device there as well.
That's true,
point.
yes.
Guys, we have no choice. We must go to the airship factory to deliver the bread.
So pick that bread back up and put it in your bag.
Clearly this bread isn't getting to him, so we have to bring it to him properly.
Take
Guys,
them all.
We have one problem. I don't remember which bread was the one that we brought.
Oh no!
Remember, I specifically put a note on the bread that we brought telling him that it was delivered, so that's the one.
I'm glad that you were thinking ahead, because that could have been bad.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't want to accidentally deliver the wrong bread.
So,
it might not have the same taste.
I think we should go to this place anyways to find out about this airship being built, and having the bread delivery is an excuse to get us in.
You're gonna put DoorDash outfits on?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems reasonable. Delivering bread is something that I tend to do anyway, so if they've heard of me, they should know that that's something I would do. And according to Cirsa, they have heard of me.
Oh.
That was something she said, right? That they knew who we were.
Yeah, we have pictures,
they're
wanted posters.
In Aria, yeah.
Well, just in general, she said like Zog's army. So she said if we go to Scandi, which is where the airship factory is, I think. Like
the Dark Dragons have been informed of your.
They would be on the lookout for us.
There were a few people that we let go that, you know,
you've kind of been a thorn in their side, and yeah, they're survivors, yo. They tell their tales.
You try and be nice, you don't kill people, and then this is what they do to you.
They tattle on you, I know. Jeez. You just gotta bribe them more, like bigger bribes. And threats with contracts and lawsuits.
Well,
wipe their memory.
Here's the thing. I could just use this ever-smoking bottle as we approach, and they won't be able to see us because of the
just be
cloud
a pile
of
smoke.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, they might notice a small, like a cloud of smoke moving towards them, but there's no wanted posters for a cloud of smoke, so I don't think they would do anything about it. They'd be like, "That's fine."
I think that's a great idea.
Dang.
I do have this Dust of Illusion, but unfortunately it only lasts for
well, you know, 2 of us can turn into dragons, and there's no wanted poster for dragons either.
Yeah, for all of 11 minutes.
I love how this Dust of Illusion also has rules for if you want to use the Dust of Illusion on someone else, they get a reflex save to avoid it. Like, I don't want to be disguised. Gross. Too bad, here you go. Disguise self's on you for 2 hours, now you look like someone else. Oh, what a silly item.
Well, you dust a guard with it. And then when he goes inside and says, "Hey guys, I saw the people out there," and then he gets beat up and thrown in
Yeah, I
jail.
guess I guess there's some situations where it could be useful.
And they're sitting there going, "Can you believe that? How stupid do you think these guys think we are? They just walk in and try and tell us that they're
Uh,
outside."
Um. So is there any other shopping we want to do while we're here? 'Cause this is probably one of the only trade hubs left. It sounds like.
Were there other things you wanted to scry on as well?
Um.
You do
I
objects
suppose
or
I
only
could.
people?
Ooh, good question. I thought it was people, but let me check.
I think there is
Just
a spell that you can, like...
you can observe
Yeah,
a
a
creature. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
creature.
okay.
there's
Because we
object.
need to know where the axe is. Oh, right. How about our mentor?
Oh yeah, what's her name?
Sarah?
True. I will cast another scry,
So we are
and
familiar with her.
here's another 2 on the caster level check, in case she has SR. And
Don't you have any you don't have any spell resistance on this character? Or spell resistance overcome, like spell pen?
um, I'm looking. Negatory.
Huh, okay.
Not on this one. I took spell pen at level 1 on my psychic because I'm
Yeah,
a psychopath.
probably.
And I also took the thing that gives me advantage for a pool point or whatever.
Yeah, the phrenic pool point.
Yeah. So on that one, yes. On this one, I've mostly been like supporting the party, not like trying to overcome other people's
Yeah,
SR.
no, it makes sense thinking about it that way. You've been usually doing a lot more like buff spells with this character.
Yeah.
All
Bless
right,
and
Gigi.
shield and
You try to scry on Sarah, but something seems to be blocking your spell. You're not sure. It's not
okay.
working.
They might
I
have a
yeah.
non-detection or something on her.
Is
That
there
one you
anyone
would
else we want to scry on?
let's see. That one you would have actually they would have the -5 for being familiar, but you wouldn't have any other bonuses because we don't have a likeness, picture, or possession or anything. I don't think.
Did she give us any items? I don't think so. And if she did, they've been ours for
Nah.
so long.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't think it came down to the save anyway, though. Sounds like.
Question, because I don't remember buying the mirror. When I bought the mirror, is it just a mirror, or did I get my buckler enhanced to be like a mirror?
What did you want? You bought whatever you wanted.
Because I forgot that we talked about last time that I could just get my mithril buckler to get the, was it reflective quality, and that would make it
If you can
basically
afford
work.
it, it's here.
But that would maybe take time.
No, it's here.
Okay.
As a
I'm just
reminder,
looking real
like
quick.
fish, there are so many fish in the ocean. This is a metropolis, like a genuine metropolis. Like everything that could be made has been made. So if you can afford it,
Yeah.
it's here.
Well, no, this the upgrade to make it look like a mirror or whatever, is that reflecting, or is there a different one? Because reflecting's a +5, and there's no way I could afford that.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
one of the ways you could do it, but I think there might
Oh,
be
is it
just
mirrored?
I want
Yes,
to
it can be used
say
as an
yeah.
ordinary mirror.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Can only be added to metallic armor. Okay, so I would have gotten it the mirrored quality, which is a +1 bonus,
So you're
and
gonna
that would
carry a
have.
shield and a staff?
I've been carrying a buckler this
Oh,
whole
you have
time,
been. Okay, gotcha.
The
but I
buckler
can
is
It's just
have
a
the
buckler.
buckler in the same
They
hand as the
attach
staff.
to your
Yeah.
arm. Yeah.
yeah. But you do take a -1 to your
So
attack if you're using your buckler hand to do an attack.
okay, good to know. I probably haven't included that, but I also like never
You
attack.
almost never melee attack anyway. It comes up
Would it
sometimes. I
apply to
know
ray attacks or not?
no.
Okay. So this is
Well,
actually going to
using
cost
probably.
me 3,000 gold to go from a +1 buckler to an effective +2, but that's fine.
The ability's not too bad too, if I remember right.
Correct. It helped with gaze attacks and things like that. Uh, if I avert my eyes, I can roll twice and pick the better result. I can deal precision, sneak attack, and precision based damage, even if it has concealment against me. It also
Only
gives
when
me
you're
an
averting
enhancement
gazes,
bonus.
though.
Yeah, yeah. And I get an enhancement bonus to AC against rays.
Okay, so in that case, it does. Yeah, that's what. Only your enhancement bonus, though, not the. But that's most of their bonus from. Well, half your bonus from
Right,
buckler, I
right.
guess.
So I would get an extra
Still
plus
pretty
one
good
to
though.
AC against rays. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I got that. But I think that's all I want. But maybe other people, or do we have stuff to sell, or do other people want to buy things?
I mean, we might have stuff that we could sell, I guess.
Let
But
me see what I have. Wand of Identify.
We have a breastplate of command that nobody is using. Is that something? No, boy can't use
yeah,
that.
nobody in our party can actually use that. I
Okay.
guess technically Gigi could wear it, but if it was
I
the
have
right
a
size,
+2 agile DR2
yeah.
breastplate. I'm
So
not getting rid of this thing. It's insane.
yeah,
Okay.
I could sell my +1 fighting fan, but I probably won't because it's my only good source of like piercing or slashing.
Yeah, no, I don't think we need anything. It's just like if we're lugging stuff around that we could sell it here. That's all.
I
But
could
I don't need to
sell
buy anything else.
the priceless harp bow. Let's just sell this artifact. No one can use
Uh,
it. It counts as a
I
short
mean,
bow.
nobody would know it's a key, technically. Because
Hey, I could
that's
just sell it as a +3 thundering short bow.
so Pluto, you looking for a +5 weapon,
No,
or
'cause
not
I'm a
weapon,
monk.
but the amulet of mighty fist +5?
Those are
Just
Uh,
just
kind of
trade the bow
expensive.
for it.
I'm actually not because
Oh,
the thing is that I actually do have an amulet of natural armor and I have hand wraps that are
Wait, you
enchanted.
guys are gonna sell
oh,
the
okay.
ever smoking bottle?
No, we're gonna
No,
sell
Oh,
the harp.
that was a
on my
different bottle,
sh-
wasn't it?
on my sheet, it was just called bottle.
Oh,
Is that a different ever smoking bottle? Because I have
I
one as
I
well.
say I thought
guess
Pluto had.
so. Well, now you have two.
Oh,
I must have gotten one
so
somewhere.
here's the plan. We give Gobi one ever smoking bottle and us the other, and we have him be a distraction. So like he'll do it the first day, and he'll do it like 3 days in a row, right? With the smoke going up to the airship place, and they'll see him every time, be like, "Oh, what are you doing,
Gobi
Gobi?"
says, no, 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 I'm
And
not
then
going to Scandy. No,
and then
no.
on the fourth day we do it, and they're like, "Oh, it's that dang Gobi fish again," and they ignore it and leave us alone
Hmm.
because we've conditioned them with Gobi. That's the plan. Not really, but yeah, I
I
don't have
have
anything to sell though.
I have one arrow. Is that something special?
Uh,
Probably.
you'd have to ask Gigi.
I'll identify. I'll not use a wand of identify, but I'll detect magic on it. Okay, secret isn't magic.
Yes?
Um, do we have other stuff to identify? Otherwise, I'll roll the spellcraft like plain. It's an
Because you're
arrow.
worried about running out of your 45 charges remaining on your wand?
Yep.
Excuse me. I have 39 charges.
Oh, I stand corrected.
I just
Um,
pretty close. We're almost out.
do we have anything else to identify?
Apparently, I'm wearing a ring of resistance and wearing a cloak of resistance, which is pretty impressive. I don't know why I'm doing that, but
Do you want this cloak of fiery vanishing?
I mean, I guess since I have a ring of resistance, it'd be an upgrade,
Whenever
right?
you're subject to an effect that deals fire damage, such as me casting a fireball from the necklace of fireballs, you can immediate action become invisible. Blah 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 blah
I mean,
blah.
that's
Last
pretty
5
good, except
rounds.
that I probably am just gonna evade all that shit.
Yeah, I don't think we need this item.
But I mean, I'd probably wear it instead of this cloak of resistance if you don't want
Sure.
it.
Where's the
It
party
might come
sheet?
up.
Yeah, you take this because I literally have a cloak of resistance I wear, and that was just like maybe if I want to put that on instead, I can just use the necklace of fireballs, which also I guess I'm wearing that now, and rather than the amulet of Aegis of Recovery. But yeah,
But yeah, I have an amulet of natural armor +3, so I don't think I'm swapping my amulet slot. Like, that's a really good
yep.
item.
Okay, so I guess the stuff in the party sheet that is what we want to sell, and I'll
You were
identify
going
that arrow.
to. Yeah.
Sure, I'll use a charge of the wand just for you guys, because Star Fox bought it for me. 35.
Okay. You learned that this is a +1 dragon bane arrow.
Oh, that could be useful. Who uses
Separating
a bow though?
laying. Yeah, we don't have a bow user.
Fran, you have the bow harp,
I have
right?
a bow that I'm not proficient with, but yes. Oh, maybe that's what feat I should have take instead of taking the thing that boosts the DC of my
Martial weapon
stunning
proficiency?
fist. Yeah, martial weapon proficiency for short bow.
Eh, I mean,
It would actually solve your ranged weapon problem, wouldn't it?
you
Yeah.
need to pick up a few arrows, but sure. Here's one.
All right.
I
Seeker's all right if I retcon, say I take that instead of stunning fist adept.
You haven't used it yet, so sure.
Ah, cool. Now I am proficient with the short bow,
with the heart bow.
the harp. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a
Also, I
+3 you said,
also I know
right?
how to play it as an instrument, which
It's
Yeah.
true.
It's true.
Wait, you know how to
People
play
will
the
mistake
harp?
you for a bard.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, it's whatever performs strings, so it
Yeah.
applies to that just as well as like
That's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, the harp is such a complicated instrument. It doesn't make sense to me that someone who can play other string instruments can play a harp. But sure,
But monks
for
are
the sake of
amazing.
Pathfinder and we're heroes.
You're
Sure,
heroes. Yeah.
an instrument is no problem.
I put a lot of practice into stringed instruments.
Okay, okay.
And that included a harp lesson as well, which I never thought would become relevant because I didn't own a harp at the time. But Anoush was like, "It might be useful someday if you know how to play the harp."
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to harp on this topic.
And she was very pushy about it, so I uh I was like, "All right, sure, I'll learn the harp." But in the end, I'm glad that I listened to her on at least that thing.
Are you gonna take it? Okay. Yeah.
All right, so you want to pick up some arrows then? I assume
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy some arrows.
you don't want to get anything too fancy. You have the one
I don't
fancy
need
one.
I don't need a whole bunch of like fancy arrows. I'm just get regular arrows. The bow's
Okay.
already insane. It's a +3 thundering short
What
bow.
does thundering do? Is that electric damage on attack or on
No, it's
crit?
sonic
Sonic.
damage, and I think it's only I can't remember if it's on crits or
Is it like fiery or fiery burst? Probably like fiery, right?
no, it's sonic.
Well, no, it's like fiery but sonic
Oh,
damage.
sorry. I will
Oh,
be
okay.
right back.
He wants
It's
to
like
know if it
the
acts
sonic
like.
equivalent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's insane on a
I
bow.
think it's different. It's an entirely different thing, I believe. I don't think it just
Oh,
does
is it
like a
okay?
flat d6. Let me find it.
Wait, can I get that weapon mod on a bow? Because with a bow you shoot like 10 arrows in one round. and then you could
Yeah.
have every single arrow have like an extra d6 of fire
Yeah, you
damage,
can totally do that.
and then you take the fire arrow spell
The
like to make them fiery.
in like very common to get one of those enhancements
I mean,
on
I,
there.
I basically did that on
The podcast
one
listened
of my
to,
characters.
they did they had a Slayer that had a bow with the shocking quality, so it did 1d6 electricity damage on top of everything else.
Yeah, nice. That's like my Magus, and right? I'm doing the Elder Charger,
Yeah, kind of like that.
or did do the
Okay, so
Elder Charger.
Thundering is whenever Thunder Weapon deals an extra 1d8 points of sonic damage on a successful critical hit. If its critical multiplier is 3, then it's 2d8, so it's going to be 2d8 instead.
Oh,
Um, and also they have to make a DC Fortitude save, 14 Fortitude save, or be deafened permanently when they
'Cause
get
it's
they get hit with
loud.
extra.
what?
It's kind of like a thundering
Permanent?
stone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, permanent deafness if they get hit.
Okay,
But mostly
that's pretty cool.
it's a +3 short bow. So I mean,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's okay.
But it's
you know,
also
it's
something you
alright.
don't use during stealth operations because it does make a noise.
yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, that bow is insane.
I guess I need to add a thing for add weapon.
What are you gonna name the bow?
It has a
David?
name already. It's called the Goddess Key
Oh, should
Harp Bow.
name the bow David, so it can be David Bowie.
Look, I didn't give it the name, but it wants to be called Harp Bow or Goddess Key Harp Bow. So
Okay, fine.
We're official around
Goddess Key dash Harp Bow.
here. Hyphen.
Yeah, hyphen not dash. Wow.
Yeah.
Double
How
dash.
dare you disrespect the bow like that?
You gotta say the name correctly. You gotta pronounce it right.
Okay. So this is a ranged attack.
Yeah, so anything you guys want to purchase or upgrade, go ahead and do so.
I think I'm good.
Any other scrying you wanted to do? Any other spells you
Is
have
there
in
anyone else we
mind?
want to scry on?
If only I was a Zen archer, this would be so
There's a
good.
lot of people you know. You
We
met
do know a lot
of
of people. I mean, I was
Mhm.
thinking about scrying on my old guru master just to see what he's up to and to make sure he's okay. But I also don't think it's relevant to the story.
Who knows until you do
Could be.
it. You can always
I don't know.
make it relevant.
I'll wait for Star Fox to get back
It's
and
the
he
power
can
of the player.
weigh in if he has any ideas.
Put more emphasis on something that doesn't need it just because.
I mean, that's kind of what we did with that elf, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the random quest on the quest board in the town wasn't a main core part of the story?
No, that wasn't even on the quest board. It was
Oh,
just
was it not?
no, because I think there was a different quest that led us to like grandma's house or whatever because they had a monkey that was looking for its lost instrument or something, right? I'm pretty sure that was that quest.
There was
The
also the
Elven
mushroom
Bread
farmers.
delivery was its own independent
Yeah,
quest that you
it
guys
was
went and
something.
picked up, yeah.
It was something that she gave us after we'd like stayed there for a little while and while we were leaving. Like, oh, since you guys are going to Prima, can you deliver this bread for me? We're like, oh yeah, sure, we can do that. That sounds
Yeah.
easy. Little did we know it was not easy at all. The best thing about this harp bow is I can just have it out, and if somebody comes up and melee ranges with me, I'm like, just kidding. I can still just full attack you with my fists and kicks.
True. All right, Star Fox is back.
Yes,
Welcome back.
thank you. Good to be back.
So I was looking to see if there was anybody else Gigi wanted to scry on, and he was like, I'll wait until Star Fox
Yeah,
comes back.
I was gonna see because Star Fox also I think remembers better than
This
me.
doesn't
Like,
count
is there
as
any?
a composite bow, does it? It's just a regular short bow.
Gigi has bad memory.
Okay, yeah. It's
Aaron
really
Axis has
simple.
good memory.
Yeah, but adding the composite bonus to it is a flat amount. So even though it's a strong bow, you could add it for pretty cheap.
Can I add it for pretty cheap on an artifact? I don't know.
Well,
I
that's
don't
up to
think
secret.
you can modify this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That
fine.
makes sense.
Anybody
It's
you
pretty
bring it
decent as it
to,
is,
they're
though.
just gonna be like, "Oh, this is beyond my. I don't know if I can."
I can't even. I can barely even tell it's a
Well,
bow.
it would be kind of funny if the whole thing is the strength was dependent on which string you used, right? The
Oh
different strings on the harp are all
yeah.
different tensions and strengths. So
It's an adaptive composite bow.
yeah, exactly,
That
exactly.
sounds
That would
like
actually
it.
be kind of a cool effect, to be honest. Thematic.
Well, let's not give you too many wonderful
Yeah, no,
things on
it's
one
already
Yeah,
day.
no, it's
it's
already
already
insanely good.
it's already a pretty cool item. So, and like I said, I was having a really hard time picking something for my feet anyway. So I'm
Um,
okay burning a feat on here to be proficient with it, and probably still barely use it. But I don't know. There's
does,
been a few spots where I wished I had a ranged option like a bow. So
is there anyone else we want to scry on?
Let's see.
He's got multiple uses and multiple days.
I mean, we could always try scrying on Mr. Lich. I don't know what we'd get from it, but we could at least
True.
annoy him.
I want to scry on the Lich.
Okay.
I like that idea because the Lich works for the queen goddess of darkness, evil dark god person. Yeah,
The goddess of destruction, Circe said.
that's the one. Bhutan caster level check. I rolled a 3. Why?
You're probably not going to pass, but let's see what your penalties to him are. It's going to be just... You don't have a picture of him. You should have took a picture of him.
No, we have met him, so firsthand. I don't think we know him well, right?
probably not. No,
I mean, I guess I consider it meeting him since we met him in combat. We didn't have like a conversation with him, did we?
we talked to him a little bit, but yeah, they haven't been super in-depth conversations.
But yeah, I guess we have met him, so I would say it's 0 overall. So it's just gonna be a DC 22.
If he doesn't have SR,
And if he has SR, then I certainly failed and rip. Spell fizzle.
Okay.
Secret rolled. Maybe that means he doesn't have SR.
I actually don't think he does have SR.
Oh, wait, that was a D10. Secret stuff happenings.
That might
Secret.
have been you
The
trying to
GM.
determine what the Lich is
What
up
the
to
Lich
at
is
this
doing.
exact
That's
moment.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, we got all this gold now too.
It's a lot of money. What can I get for that kind of money?
What's a meta magic rod cost? Oh wait, I
Which
can't
one?
carry another thing in my hand. Oh, I should enhance my staff. Can I do that?
Is it your bonded item?
It is, but it's not like a full wizard bonded item, so I have to see like which parts of it work and which ones don't. Because it's an archetype from
Okay.
Oracle that quacks like a wizard bonded object, but not all the way.
All right. GG.
Yes.
You succeed. And you
Hey.
see the Lich. Well, you know it to be the Lich because that's who you scried on, but that doesn't look like who that is when you're looking upon them.
He looks like
Upon.
somebody else.
Yeah, he looks like somebody else.
Maybe he's either in disguise or he redirected your scrying somehow. There are spells that can do that.
Okay.
And I don't.
Maybe the Lich part was the disguise all along. And this is his normal form.
Maybe.
Well, the image of the Lich was summoned in the fight. That was suspicious, I thought.
Oh, that was just Sursa trying to scare us off.
Yeah, but
she was
it was
also trying to
still
scare
interesting.
the other dark dragons off because they're not really aligned with the Lich.
Yeah.
So it might have been concerning to them, but they didn't seem to care that much. They weren't fooled, so to say. I thought I had like a picture for who you see. Oh, there is. Okay. Wait, I need to pull up the correct window. There we go. Okay. I gotta hide the title. How do I hide this thing? Oh, okay. There we go. You see this fellow.
Oh, he's colorful.
So
And
is this
he is riding up the same elevator you saw the elf going up.
Hey, okay.
But this time when he gets to the platform, he just goes right into this big structure ship-like thing you guys are guessing. Passes by the elf, briefly glances at the elf, but then continues and goes inside the ship. And your scrying ends.
Okay. Like in before the 11 minutes?
Yeah,
he
he's
went in
on
the
the
ship?
elevator for a very long time. Like you're thinking.
No, okay. So, but the spell lasted the full time. It's not like there's an anti-scrying thing on the ship, as far as I know.
No, actually, like the spell did not last a full 11 minutes. Now that you stop and think about it.
Okay. So then there probably is some kind of anti-scry thing on the ship that ended it. That's the conclusion I come to, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I tell the party. That's interesting.
What does that mean, though?
Well, there's a couple of things that Sursa said.
I mean, it means he's working on the airship? I don't know. We know he works for Queen of Destruction.
Goddess, how dare you?
What the peon of destruction.
She would destroy you for saying that.
Yep, I'm sure.
Okay, I know what I'm going to spend my money on. I'm going to spend it on a headband.
That's a good idea.
+2 wisdom, +2 charisma.
Do I have a belt,
Nice.
actually? That's a good idea. I do have a belt. I have summon some hero of the dead. Anyways.
If you guys remember or not, Sursa had said that the Lich and Zog are not aligned with each other, and that the Lich had forced her to go to Zog and work for him to gather intel, among other things.
So this airship is for
gather
Zog.
intel. Okay.
Yeah.
So he had her spying on Zog.
Basically.
Okay. I missed that part somewhere in there.
Is the airship for Zog, or is it for the goddess of destruction? or do we know?
It's Zog. Zog's airship.
Okay, so the fact that he's there doesn't add up. He shouldn't be there
But he doesn't
unless they
have
are working
Cersei.
together.
Well, he doesn't have Cersei spying for him anymore. So maybe he is just
Yeah.
going there himself. Or, no, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. So maybe he's just there himself spying.
So
But he
But
just
let's.
he,
walked right in. He didn't like sneak in.
That's right. He walks
yeah,
right in, but he also looks like
look different.
this.
True, he doesn't look like a lich. That's true. Oh, that makes more sense now. Okay, so he's in some kind of disguise sneaking in to get info.
Well, okay. He must, like, why are the Dark Dragons trying to get the keys then? Because their plan is the super airship, right? So where do the keys fit into the Zog's plan? The keys are the Lich's plan. So has the Lich somehow convinced Zog to gather the keys? Maybe are tricking him into gathering the keys for some reason?
Always a possibility.
Like, I guess, what does Zog think the keys are going to do for him? We know the Lich wants to use the keys to bring back the Goddess of Destruction, but Zog must think the keys are going to help him in his plan somehow. So he's been convinced to gather the keys for some reason.
But the only key you know he's gathered is one. So is he really gathering keys? I guess the axe is missing, but you don't really know what's going on with that.
Weren't we, okay, again, weren't we told that we needed to gather the keys to keep them out of the Dark Dragon's hands? The implication being that the Dark Dragons are looking for the keys?
You were.
Or,
Well, you were told to keep the keys safe from dark dragons. You knew that the dark dragons had invaded your village, but you guys didn't know their real agenda, I guess you could
oh,
say, but
no, the Dark Dragons are looking for the keys because they were at the first castle. They invaded the first castle specifically looking for the key that was kept there.
that key, yes.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might have to go ask Zog what he's doing.
Were we manipulated into getting the keys? Is the
Oh
Lich playing
no!
some super 4D chess going on here?
Maybe.
Oh shit.
I don't know.
I can't quite afford a +4 charisma headband, but actually looking at it, it doesn't make sense to get a.
Pluto, what's that magic missile snaky staff that I like?
One thing you can be certain, Aaron Axis, is that he
Yeah,
doesn't have all the keys, so
that's
there's
true.
that. If you keep that true, then you shouldn't have to worry about the goddess of destruction.
I mean, ultimately, another question that comes up, and one that I've struggled with for a little bit now, is what are we supposed to do with the keys when we have them?
Who knows?
Oh, here we go. Quarterstaff of
Maybe
Entwined
seek the wisdom
Serpents.
of your elders.
I mean, there's that. We can free our mentor, and maybe she'll have a better understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, we don't know where she's at though.
No. Well, actually, yes. We have a good idea where she's at because we now know that the airship blocks scrying. And
True, and we couldn't scry
I mean,
her.
now I'm not saying that's ironclad evidence, but
Yeah,
It's
I suppose you're
sus.
right. It's
it
probably
is a piece of evidence.
yeah.
Also, we can try to scram more people. Woo! It's becoming an addiction to Gigi. I can tell.
Oh yeah, he's a voyeur now.
Yeah,
He's like,
I'm
yeah.
I'm trying to dig through the rules here to figure out if I can do this or not.
What's up?
What do you want to do?
Pluto may be able to help answer as well. So there's this staff called the Quarterstaff of Entwined Serpents that is a +1 quarterstaff that lets you cast magic missile at will. That's like 3rd caster level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would just be nice to have something I can just do when I don't know what to do like that. I want to enhance my bonded staff to be that staff, and I don't know if I can do that.
I mean, a normal wizard would be able to do that if it's.
So yeah, I have Arcane Bond per wizard Arcane Bond, except I have to pick a spell I know rather than any spell from the spell list. Because I'm not a wizard, I'm a oracle.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
No, I
But
think
this is
wizards have to do only ones that they know as well.
Yeah. You wouldn't be
oh,
able
you're
to.
right.
But yeah,
Oh, sorry, this is because it comes from the Sork arcane bloodline that it has to specify that, I think.
Now, if you were just happen to be an oracle with that, then yes.
So I guess my question, like from what I can tell from the rules, yes, I should be able to enhance my bonded object just like a wizard can.
yeah.
Can you enhance just any old quarterstaff to be this specific quarterstaff? Or because it's like a named object, I'd have to buy it
No,
straight up.
when you open it, notice when you open it, it has a thing that says construction.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
construction
because it
rules,
has the
yeah.
craft
Yeah, it
rules,
has
that means
crafting
I can
rules
make
for
it.
it. You can do it. Yep.
But it says I need magic missile.
So just because it's named, that usually just means that like they named it, but it still has like the regular crafted rules. The
Yeah.
only thing that don't have the regular crafted rules are like artifacts and beyond.
Okay, so I can add magic abilities to bonded object as if I have the required item creation feat, and if I meet the level prereqs of the feat.
Yep. So the other two, if you don't have eschewed materials and magic missile, those are the ones where it just adds +5 to the DC of crafting it.
What's SU materials?
It's a feat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would make this a +10 to craft.
Yeah, which, and to be fair, if you had that, like that's one of the benefits of is you basically get that feat while you have the staff. That's other benefit. Pretty minor benefit, but sorcerers get that feat by default.
Okay,
from,
so
Right.
There is one. I don't know if it applies to staffs, but I know there's one small exception for wands, potions, and scrolls.
no, this
Because
one's fine because it just counts as a magic arms and armor.
let's
okay,
take
well,
a step back
yeah,
here. Could I just pay full price to have someone in Prima enhance my bonded object, or I can buy this and then change my bonded object to this for a gold price?
I mean,
I
if
think
you're
so.
gonna pay
Yes.
somebody in Prima to do that, you're gonna have to suffer the time that it takes to do it. But yeah, you could.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can
let
bond a
me-
Somebody might
staff
have
that's
already
already
made it.
magical.
I think somebody else you could get one that somebody's already made and then
Yeah,
pay to make that your new bonded object, and you could even do
That's
that
true.
if
You
we were
can trade
traveling
your
somewhere.
old for that. They'll do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't remember
the rules
exactly
for
how.
bonded object.
They're
is
like,
the
how
bonded
odd!
object is
One of the fish down the street
lost
has a
or
staff just
destroyed.
like that.
It can
You should go see
be
him.
replaced after 1 week. In a special ritual that costs 200 per level. So it's 2,200 gold.
I'm pretty sure you could just pay the 2,200 gold and do that. Like, I guess worst case you have to destroy your own staff, which would also suck though because it means
And
you
then
can't
wait a
cast
week.
spells for a week without having to
Yeah.
make a concentration check. But so it probably is easier just to
So I'd rather
craft
have
it
this
yourself.
enhanced.
Hmm.
In which case, to craft is a spellcraft check.
Yeah.
And it's going to be at a +10.
I think you can take 10 on that check too. So if it's a DC of 20, then you're good to go. I don't know what
Okay.
the DC actually is. It's probably fairly low. It's caster level 3,
Uh,
so
yeah, I'm trying to
How
remember where all my favorites are for this stuff. Here, magic item creation, craft
what is the
staff.
cost of the staff?
It's 5,000 gold.
5,050.
Oh, that's actually not very expensive for a staff at all.
That's because
It's
it's not technically a staff in terms of like
how
magic
you
item
use it.
classifications. It's literally it's a weapon. It's just a +1/4 staff with some special abilities
Okay.
rather than a traditional like wizard staff.
And that's the total cost, not the crafting cost, right?
Right.
Correct.
The
The
crafting
crafting
cost is
cost is
actually 2,800.
28.25, which
Okay.
is weird that it's
It's
not
over
half of the
half.
price, but yeah.
I suspect that they're adding in the masterwork
It's
staff
adding
at
in the
full cost or
masterwork
something. But anyway,
cost.
so
No, I
that's going to
wouldn't
take
pay that
6 days.
actually.
At 5,500, it'll take you 6 days to craft it.
At 5,050, yeah.
Right.
It's barely 6 days, yeah.
It's that extra 50 gold that'll
So you gonna
put you
stay
over.
in Prima for a while?
I don't know what. I mean, I can just buy something else and forget this. I mean, this is third caster level magic
Well,
missile.
we
Who
spent
cares?
20 minutes on it, so I don't know.
I mean, we are doing other things too, but yeah,
Are we though?
we were. We were talking about the Lich and scrying and
Oh yeah, that was before the 20-minute staff talk.
oh, I didn't think it was that long.
Who else could we scry? Let me think about that.
Yeah, think about who else we're gonna scry on, and I
Yeah.
will
Oh, you could
do
scry
something.
on our thief buddy in
Karn.
You want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
scry on Karn, okay.
let's
Do you
scry
have
on
anything
Karn.
of his? I don't think you do.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to check because you can cast certain spells through the scrying. Detect chaos, detect evil, detect good, detect law, detect and message. Do you have message?
No.
Um, maybe I am going to buy you a wand of message so that you can actually talk, or let's see, you have a 50-50 chance of talking to Karn through your scrying. We could actually start asking him some questions, or
Well, it's
whoever we
less than that
scry on.
because is message actually on the Oracle spell list, or would he have to
I,
UMD
oh,
it?
sorry. I don't know. I made some assumptions,
Uh,
but I suspect it's not
I
on the
feel like it's
Oracle
an
list. It's not a
arcane, but
cleric.
yeah, it's an arcane one. So only bard, psychic, sorcerer,
yeah, I have
wizard, summoners,
sending.
and witches get it.
Okay,
Well,
maybe.
sending
Okay.
would work better than trying to send a message through a scry anyway, if you have sending.
Well, I don't have sending, but sending is on my list.
Oh, okay.
It's a 4th level, so if I got a scroll or something, I could cast that. The other
That's
thing I
actually
was
a cool
gonna.
thing. I've never tried doing message through scrying, but technically that is something you can do, and it's actually kind of cool.
Because you can hear what the target of your scrying hears.
Yes.
Oh, can you say that you can see and hear the subject? So yeah, so he can hear you when you talk through the message, and you can hear him just by virtue of your scrying on him. So
Yep.
If it, yeah, if you get the percentage roll where the message
I
actually
guess.
goes
that's right,
through.
5% per caster level.
What are
So.
we trying to say to Karn, anyways?
Well, if he's in Aurea, he might know where the axe is, right? Or what happened or something
Any
because
Okay.
news, yeah, from someone who's
news,
actually
yeah.
there.
But yeah, I'd have to have that scroll to talk
And,
to message him.
and sending is actually a higher level spell, isn't it?
I think
It's a
so, but
4th
also it
level,
doesn't have it.
and
Ouch.
I don't have it, so
I was just thinking I can get you a wand of sending. Well, maybe
That's
not.
probably
no.
really expensive, actually.
It's a 4th level, maximum level wand. I think that's like 25,000 or something
Yeah.
ridiculous like that. So
If I had
no.
that kind of money, I would have bought a +4 headband for charisma instead of a +2. But +2 is still nice.
Okay.
Boosts the DC of Stunning Fist, gives me more key, and also boosts my AC by 1.
You know what I should get? I think is what's that bag? The bag of holding that's not a bag of holding, the good one.
Handy haversack?
Yeah, I should get that.
I mean, those are
I mean, I guess I've been casting Ant
only
Hall
2,000
myself
gold,
every day,
so
so it's not a big deal. Yeah, I've been casting Ant Hall, so
Okay.
I haven't had a problem. I don't know what
So
I'm doing with my money.
so our next port of call was going to be Oria then, right? We're going to get Gobi, hop on
I was gonna look at
Gobi,
the
and
DC.
head out there.
Okay, so DC of staff is blah blah
Because we
blah.
have a few days on Gobi where we're doing nothing. If you wanted to craft your staff, then would be the time.
Yeah, this is really creating a weapon though. It's not a staff, so I don't know how to calculate the DC.
you know, I do also have this very valuable magic item called the Rod of Rulership.
Mm-hmm.
True.
It's worth 60,000 gold.
True.
Doesn't that actually help you though?
Uh,
It does
I mean,
something
it
for you.
could. It could do something for anybody. The wielder can command the obedience and fealty of creatures within 120 feet when you activate it as a standard action. Creatures totaling 300 hit die can be ruled. But if they have an intelligence score of 12 or higher, they get a DC 16 will save to negate the effect. They obey you as though you were their absolute sovereign. But if you give a command that is contrary to the nature of the creature's command, the magic's broken. Can be used 500 total minutes before crumbling to dust. I don't know if this has already been used a certain amount or not either.
It's 60,000 gold and it's a consumable. Wow.
Yes. Secret, does this have all 500 minutes? Has it actually been used before? This was like Elmon's rod originally, wasn't it?
Oh, no, it would be like half used or something.
Okay, so there's like 250 minutes left on it, probably.
There you go.
Okay, I figured it out. So DC to create a magic item is 5 plus caster level of the item. The staff is a 3 caster level, so it's 8 DC. Plus 10 for not having the stuff is an 18 DC, which means if I take 10, I auto succeed.
So it's probably not worth the full 60,000 gold as well if it's not like
Right.
fully charged. But I don't know. Probably it actually probably we should hold on to it because it might be like our ticket to get through
Ooh,
Scandia, right? Like you just pull that out and just be
yeah.
like, all right, 300 hit die worth of people nearby. I am your leader, and we just
Yeah.
pass through them.
Well, I mean, there's some important that you guys learned is that, like, the Dark Dragons have been kidnapping people from other cities and bringing them to Scandi. So
Yeah.
there's a good
Slave
chance
labor.
there's a lot of people who don't want to be there.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I think that's the thing. I'll hold on to that in case we need it to like get surrounded by an army or whatever, and just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, no thanks.
No thanks.
And get like 50 of you, and the average person is not even gonna get a save because the average person is gonna have 12 or less intelligence. In fact, if somebody used it on me, I wouldn't get a save. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
I only have I only have 11 intelligence on Frand, so maybe I should get a headband of intelligence slash charisma instead, actually. And then I can be immune to the rod of rulership or whatever. Well, I wouldn't even be immune. It just means I get a save, but the save's pretty low. It's like 16 or something.
okay.
But yeah, it's
Okay.
probably worth keeping that thing. It's very powerful. Might, and if we never have to use it, then all the better. But if we do,
So
we're glad we have it.
I need to subtract gold cost from making the staff, and it's going to take me 3 days if I double speed and increase DC by 5, which I still auto succeed. Barely.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Are
Your
there
staff
any?
does things.
If we're spending some time in
Yeah,
Prima,
3 days in
actually,
Prima if we can.
because if we're spending some time in here, I could retrain Mental Barrier for like Mental Barrier 2. because it would just be a straight upgrade, and you don't need Mental Barrier 1 for Mental Barrier 2, which is kind of weird.
Ooh.
But
I mean, we're here 3 days, so if your retrain
actually, I should double check that.
works,
I think that's true, but
I still have a little bit of money left. I could buy something, but I don't know what I would buy. Uh, yeah, I'm fine. I don't think I care to scry on Karn if I can't talk to him too, right? Or should I? I guess I can. What do you want?
No,
Star
that's
Fox
fine.
and Pluto.
That's fine. I mean, we're going there anyway, so we'll just meet up with them.
We can scry on the way
That's
too.
true. Yeah.
I guess I know I've wasted a lot of time. I don't want to just keep eating up time with things instead of like doing things, like going places.
no, I think this is perfectly fine though, because
Yeah,
also
this is
Matt's
fine.
not here. So
Yeah.
having a information gathering session like this is actually
That's
like
fine.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'll scry whenever we're going to Prima or when we get there. I don't want to do everything right now. I'm tired of scrying for today.
Let's see, retraded a class feature. So
I guess I have 3,000, actually 4,000 gold with this platinum. 4,000 gold left, but I guess I could get boots. I don't have any boots.
Boots are okay. I wish
if we
there were
stayed
more
for
boots
I
five
can
options.
already
days,
fly though, so
if we could stay for 5 days, I can retrain
we can
my.
stay for 5. I don't care. Time, and like Meta says, time is always moving forward.
Yeah,
But
the clock
whatever.
is always ticking or whatever.
Yeah, whatever he
I
says.
mean, it's true here, like,
Yeah, but
as
we have a
well.
time machine to just go back in time, no problem.
No, don't do
Right?
that.
Right. No, don't
Right?
do that.
Yeah.
Right?
No. You hear Elmon say
Elmon
across the
shows up.
world.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Um, I have a potion named Potion in my inventory. And I have a flask named Flask.
Neat.
Can I identify these?
Sure, put them in the party sheet.
They are there, and I will use the wand of identify because I'm not going to run out. Spellcraft. 37 charges left. I assume they're magical, I guess, not just random flax
Okay.
and potion.
It's a flask of curses and a potion of shield of faith +4.
Give the potion to Frand, in my opinion.
What type of potion is it? Oh, Shield of Faith. Okay. Actually, is that even useful for me?
I mean, it's +4. It's pretty high.
I guess it's slightly higher than my Ring of Protection +3. So, and a flask of
Yeah.
potions. Okay, so if we tried to use this, it curses you.
It curses you and all within 30 feet.
Unless you throw it. Which
Oh,
is
you
what you
can throw
typically
it.
do with flasks in Pathfinder.
True. Who is the most martial at throwing? Frand.
All right, so I maybe have someday throw this at someone, and maybe
Yeah.
someday I'd drink this potion.
The Shield of Faith +4. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, the thing with
I would say give
throwing
to Eric.
alchemical products, though, is I think it's
feed
only
the potion to the fox.
10 or 20 feet, so you'd have to take penalties. But yeah.
Pluto, we give the potion to the fox.
Yeah, that might be good. I don't know if the fox has a Ring of Protection, so
That's the perfect strat.
How's the fox going to open the potion?
No, we
No,
open it and feed it
give
to
it
him.
to him. Yeah.
Feed it to the fox.
Yeah.
So,
God.
Here,
Fran holds him
Foxy, drink
down,
your
and you
bottle.
stuff it down his mouth.
Bottle time, fox.
What the hell?
And pour it into a little like water dish.
Gigi needs some rest. No more scrying for you, Gigi.
Yeah. I'm
Boy
going a
sitting
little
there.
crazy.
What are you feeding my fox?
Nothing. It's fine.
So yeah, I look around in Prima for the finest monastery of fish monks that
No
can
good.
teach and find someone that can teach me the better version of Mind Shield.
Yeah,
And I'll
you'll find somebody.
spend 5 days and 550 gold to retrain the Mind Shield to Mind Shield
Fran's
2,
at the dojo.
which basically the only difference is they both cost 1 point, but Mind Shield 2 is a 6 shield bonus for 1 round instead of 4 shield bonus for 1 round. And if you go to Mental Barrier 3, then it starts costing 2 key points per activation. So those ones are not necessarily. But Mental Barrier 2 is strictly better than Mental Barrier 1. And the only prereqs for them are the level. You don't actually need to have Mental Barrier 1 to take Mental Barrier 2. So.
Hmm.
And I think when I originally took Mental Barrier 1, I maybe didn't qualify for Mental Barrier 2 yet. Like I wasn't high enough level, but then I took lower level key powers that later on too. So
I'm a dummy.
like share memory.
What?
Why am I not just buying a Cloak of Resistance upgrade?
I don't
I'm
know.
like, what should I spend my money on? I have a Cloak +1.
I mean, I'm using a ring +1. I'm just like, meh, whatever.
Wait,
You have SR though.
No, you have a
so-
ring plus. Oh, a ring of resistance. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have SR, but there are SR no spells.
I
A lot
feel
of
like
them are
my
like
saves
reflex
are
saves.
all right anyway, though. So
Yeah, I mean it's that or okay. What's this Belt of Fallen Heroes? I didn't actually read it all because it's too
like
long.
all my saves are basically
Uh,
+11 is my lowest saves, and they're all kind of, but and my high one's +12. But I do have some situational modifiers as well. So
yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this belt actually, or someone else can wear it. But I don't think anyone wants it.
what's this? Belt of Fallen Heroes?
Yeah,
Wasn't that pretty good?
I mean it's okay, but compared to just getting con, it's I don't know. Like, is this good? Like once per day, I can have a spirit be an unseen servant.
It
Uh,
also gives you a +1 insight bonus on all saving throws.
while the summoned hero is active.
Yeah. Unseen Servant has duration of hours though, so you should just have the Unseen
Oh,
Servant hanging
okay.
around.
So I should just use this. Okay.
The one little trick is the unseen servant's speed is 15.
That's one thing that's sort of annoying potentially, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a little wrinkle, but it's not a deal breaker.
I'll have the unseen okay. I'll summon the unseen servant to watch over that elf guy's house to see if he comes home. Even though
like while
I'm
we're in
fairly sure
town.
he won't. But yeah, that's what I'll do with him today or like
What's
while
the
I'm in
caster
town.
level on the Belt of Fallen Heroes?
Uh, sixth.
Okay, so
So it
yeah,
lasts 6 hours.
it lasts for 6 hours.
But it
Okay.
also has a range of like 35 feet or something like that.
Is it 35 feet from me or 35 feet from where I cast it?
Um, I'm pretty sure it's from you. Otherwise, its move speed might not be relevant. But it's a good question.
Okay, I don't know.
Um,
I thought unseen servant could just kind of do whatever. But that's not the range that the unseen servant can be from me, right? That's just the range of where I summon him initially,
It's usually
right?
from you as
I think
well.
that's correct actually.
Oh, as it can do the same activity over and over again as long as you remain within range.
Mm-hmm.
So it does say in the text that I have to be in range of him.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have him help me craft my belt
I know like
or
one
my
thing you
staff.
could
I
do, for
mean,
example, is if you're like the kind of person who likes to use wands and then drop them, you can have the Unseen Servant follow you around and pick up the wands.
mhm.
yeah, that's funny.
I mean, they can only carry like 20 pounds, but they're not carrying anything else, and wands aren't
But
that heavy.
5, I think, isn't it?
Nope. They have a
20?
It
Oh,
can
you're
be like
right.
20 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
lift up to 20 pounds. They have a strength score of 2.
I actually like Unseen Servant quite a bit. I often take it with my wizards.
Hmm.
Okay. Well,
It's a pretty wizard thing to have.
I'll
Yeah,
summon him and he'll
you
like
can find all these
do
interesting, weird, like
whatever.
little niche uses for them, like opening doors if you're worried about a trap, or you're, exactly like your your fighter was disarmed. You can get the Unseen Servant to pick it up, type thing.
Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna buy a cloak upgrade
It
still.
can also trigger some traps for you if you want,
Yeah,
and it's
True.
not gonna like
It's not
there's
gonna care.
yeah, there's no like moral repercussions to it.
or you could get it to carry a flask to a position and then break it, as long as no attack roll is involved, like maybe a flask of curses.
True, yeah.
Yeah,
Having it deliver a flask of curses would be pretty good.
I could get a pearl of power
No, you couldn't.
and give it to someone.
Okay, well, in that case, sure. I don't think it does anything for anyone
No, it
besides
doesn't.
boy.
Yeah.
There is a
There's a
spontaneous
spontaneous
caster
version.
version. It's like
It's like a
50%
rune.
more expensive though, but
Yeah, they're called like rune stones or something, I think.
Here, I could get a figurine of wondrous power, Silver Raven.
Perfect. Then you can become the Silver Raven.
Uh, yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm sure there's something good to get, but I'm just gonna get a cloak upgrade. So I'll sell my +1 and buy a +2, or have the +1 upgraded, whatever.
So let's talk about Arya. Are you guys gonna go to Arya? Are you gonna try to get information about Arya before you go? Do you remember things about Arya?
It was glowy gold, lots of abundance, and then that's because of the axe.
I mean, I guess when I'm not
That's
training,
about what all I
I can
remember.
go ask. I can try to do some gather information for a few hours a day. Like, what news of Arya?
Okay. You learned that the dark dragons had attacked Arya
attacked. They were already in control of it.
and took
Interesting.
a number
Yeah.
of citizens.
Oh, slave raid. Okay.
And that the city, oddly enough, nobody knows why, isn't glowing gold anymore. In fact, it kind of just looks like a regular,
I mean,
ordinary
we know
town.
why, or we think we know why.
I mean, I guess we could just posit from that there's no reason for us to go back to Arya now because we know the axe isn't there.
Well, yeah, but we need to find out who took the axe so we know who to scry on.
Mm.
Aha. Scry is now the solution to every problem we have.
No, that's divination, where you get to interrogate the game master, asking about plot points.
Bring it. I know them all. This is my game. Can't go wrong.
It's one of the nice things in homebrew games,
Right?
especially when it's a homebrew setting.
Just write it down and make it candid.
I think I'm good with what I spent my money on though. Did some money on retraining, got a headband because I didn't have any headband, and I went ahead and just bought a handy haversack to put all these random potions and stuff that I have into that.
Yay.
I can get rid of my mundane backpack because, yeah, I have a magic backpack now. Maybe instead of buying a handy haversack, I paid someone to like enchant my backpack to be a handy haversack.
Okay. I
Well,
mean,
that's where the
you're
unseen
long
servant comes
enough.
in again. You just ask it to retrieve things from your backpack.
True, then you don't need a handy haversack to.
Or you do like a player in an old campaign, you get a kobold skeleton, animate it, stuff it in the backpack, and then just ask it to hand you stuff.
Or you just become a wizard and you mage
Okay.
hand somebody else's backpack and steal their shit.
Ooh, I do have Mage Hand in Pluto's game. Wait.
It has a weight limit, but yeah.
Um. So I don't know. I guess do we want to go to Prima still? Because I
You're
guess
in
we don't know
Prima.
much. Or
Yeah.
not in Prima to Arya. Because we're pretty sure the axe is gone. That's why it's not all rich and bountiful. But where would we go otherwise? I guess to the airship place. We do need to deliver that bread.
It's true. You got at
But
least 3 quests over at the airship.
Secret's like, okay, the only way I'm gonna get the players to go to the airship place is if I make the elf they're supposed to deliver the bread to work at the airship.
Oh no, it's all part of the story I wrote. Or added
Okay.
in, I guess. I don't know.
He was
So I
always saying.
guess my vote is the airship place. Like everything
The
recently has
elf,
been
if you
pointing to
haven't
that.
guessed, and the bread is not part of the actual game.
Aww.
That'd be funny though.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like you try and deliver the bread in the game, and then you open the door, and it's like this abandoned,
House of
apartment with
bread.
tons of bread. Like that sounds like something game devs would do.
That sounds a little
Or
Japanesey, yeah.
it's
Have you? It's like
it,
the house in Morrowind where she's got like a bunch of pillows in her basement, like just tons and tons of pillows.
I don't think
I
I
don't know
ran
if I've
into
seen
that
that.
one.
She
No,
hoards pillows in there. It's like a
dang.
quest for the Fighters Guild, and there's like rats in her basement. And when you get to her basement, there's just like 300 pillows down there.
Are you sure
That
they're
is
pillows and they're not supposed to be
weird.
like grain sacks?
No, they're pillows.
Okay.
You can pick them up. Like
And they're called pillow.
you can
Oh,
steal her
alright,
pillows.
okay. Oh, she. Now I want to play just to do that.
I think
Okay,
that was Morrowind. It
so
could have been Oblivion too. I'm curious.
if it's Oblivion,
Yeah.
that would explain why I haven't seen it, but 'cause I haven't played that. I think we go to the airship factory buildy placey.
I mean, I'm not entirely opposed to that, since that does seem to be where we need to be. If they have moved the axe, that's likely to where it's being moved to.
That's the question. Where is the axe?
I mean, where are the other keys too?
You have
We
them.
have everything except the staff and the axe.
Well, yeah, and we
It's
think
safe to assume where the staff was, unless they like moved
Yeah,
it
yeah.
somewhere else. But
I mean, we think the staff is with Sarah, but we think Sarah may be at the airship in the anti-scry thing. Possibly, it could be a coincidence.
It could, but it's a clue.
So I
I
think we
think
go
it's a
there.
reasonably safe bet.
There's even actually an extra quest in Morrowind about her pillows, where you can find
Oh
a
my-
shipwreck with more of the pillows, and you can tell her about what happens to it, and she gives you an extra comfy pillow, which gives you a different message when you rest, where it says your sleep was very restful on your extra comfy pillow.
there
Aw,
must be like some sort of inside joke about all this.
it
You
was an
know?
intern.
Maybe.
Somebody didn't get enough sleep and always had a pillow or something. Who
Maybe.
knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you guys, technically, I'm not trying to get you guys to the airship. That's obviously where the bad guy is. But you can go anywhere you want. However, the
Maybe
longer you wait, he might enslave more people.
maybe it's a decision that we should involve Boy with.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea to catch Matt up and see what he wants to do.
He might have more insight.
True. Since you guys are in Prima, he might want to buy and sell too.
That's true as
Also
well.
true. So maybe we shouldn't go past here tonight. In which case we can scry on Karn.
Okay, I'm down for that.
So maybe it's a new day and I have my scries back, but I'll cast scry on Karn. I mean, I still had 2 more anyways, but
Okay, let's do.
And Karn we know fairly well, I'd say.
Yeah, we just don't have
Decently
anything of
well.
his.
So -5 to the check for that, I'd say. I mean, we've done missions with him. And then we don't have any other stuff. So I think his DC would be 27 if he's suffering a -5 because we know him well. Otherwise,
Okay.
22 if it's just we've met him.
You spy on Karn. Do you have sense motive?
It's an untrained skill.
Yeah,
So in
you
that
can.
sense, I do.
Yeah.
Hey, I rolled well. Let's go.
Okay.
I got 17 with a roll of 18.
You see Karn, and he has 2 individuals next to him, and they're quite a bit taller than him, and they're geared in dark dragon armor you've seen before. And he's between them, and sensing from his motive, you see that it looks like he's pretending to be like one of them because they're not really holding him as a prisoner, and he's kind of standing somewhat tall and proud himself. But
Oops.
like in his eyes, you can see like some slight of concern and fear and what have I gotten myself into kind of look in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him holding something.
It's an axe.
Oh, he's the one that stole the axe.
It's an axe.
Yes.
But also,
we told
to
him
top
about
it all off, you see him on an elevator. One you've seen
my
before.
God. Dude, why do I always scry? This elevator must take like hours, and I'm just always scrying on people while they're on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the odds? It's fate.
What a day, Gigi.
Okay, so I've scryed on 3 people, and they've all been on this elevator, at different times.
Mm-hmm. Which means they're not all arriving together.
So the axe is there. The staff might be there. The Lich is there.
Also, the scry ends as soon as he gets into the airship.
Okay, yeah, I think
And the
this
elf
means
is still
that-
there. They pass by the elf and he's still there working on it.
Yeah, I think this means we go back to Gust. That all signs lead there.
Gust?
I'm joking.
Also, there is this like theme
Clearly we
on your
need a
guys'
big win
map
on
that
this
you
airship.
never went and visited.
Yeah, I accidentally closed the map. Where'd that go?
That area up to the north.
Yeah, so you guys
There was another
console
trail or
had
something there.
updated your map for you guys, and there was
Oh,
like
thank you.
something different going on.
Well, they told us that a little bit
Is
about
that
that
this
place.
one here?
Yeah, he told us a little
Mhm.
bit of that place too. It was like another. There was supposed to be like more training grounds.
It was
Yeah.
a big training ground. It was like a meeting location where like all the powers of the continents would come together and meet, and
it
there
was
was
like a
training
UN.
there as well.
So here's my question then: where are the white dragons at?
Gone, perished.
Right here, us.
Apparently, yeah, like all these strongholds and things are all dark dragons and goddess of destruction and Zog, and it's like where are the good guys at? We have just us adventuring around. There's no city or area of this is where the good guys are at that we can go for help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I think we wait for Matt before we leave Prima.
Okay, then yeah, we can
Yep.
we can call session here and figure it out. But that's fine. I know I have stuff prepared for Arya, so if you guys do decide to go there, bam. But I think it's
Okay.
time to get Scandy a little more cleaned up and organized for your guys' visit.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we scryed 3 times and all 3 people were there. So I really think that's where we'll end up going, but we'll see what we think in 2
Yeah.
weeks.
I think that's also where the end of the campaign goes to as well.
Yeah.
But,
Or is it?
Well, I
or
think
is it? Yeah.
we go from there and we probably go up to the UN place for the ending just because that looks like a end of the game island to
Either
me.
that or we're supposed to go there first and get some cool magic item. Isn't there even like there might even be another key there? I can't remember.
We
Is
have all
there?
the keys, don't we?
Are they all accounted
Um,
for?
Or like we know them all
all
because there's a
keys are
harp you
accounted
got, the
for,
axe is there, and the
provided that the
staff is.
staff is where you guys
Yeah, if the staff
suspect.
is at the airship, then that's all of them.
Oh, okay.
Because
There's two of
I
them
guess
there, and we have the other four.
the other like 7.
What? I thought there was like
Well,
6.
there's the dagger of earthquake.
There should be 7.
There's the
Oh, there's 7.
scepter.
We have 5 of them then.
What was the
Right?
scepter? Is that the thing that Matt has for his
Yeah.
pet?
Yep. And
There's
then
the
there's a book.
book. I don't remember what the book is.
It gives you wisdom when you read it, which actually I
Yeah.
don't know who's reading it right now.
Okay,
Did you
there's
I
guys
a
not all
horn.
gain it? You should have all
I
gained
haven't.
it by now.
I haven't.
I got it by
I
now.
never did, but maybe that's something I'm working
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
now
you
or
could do
something. I
that.
don't know. That puts my wisdom up to 12, so I'd get the. Or no,
Nice.
it puts my wisdom to 11 actually. So it doesn't really do a whole lot for me because it's just a
Yeah,
+1, right?
yeah, actually, I don't have any of the special
Wait,
items,
why
so
are
that's
you
fine.
forfeiting wisdom? Like,
I'll
do
still
you
take it, but
auto qualify for feats
well,
13 or higher?
it's because I'm a charisma-based monk instead of a wisdom-based
Oh,
monk.
it changes that. Okay. Because I
Yeah,
was gonna
so
say
my
there's some feats that like you have to have 13 wisdom. But...
there are some feats, and I don't have those feats.
Yeah.
but
Okay. Yeah.
but all my monk features that normally would go off wisdom are based off charisma instead. So like, um, yeah. I don't think that's necessarily better, especially because I'm not doing a lot of times people if they're doing that, it's because they're gonna multi-class into like sorcerer, oracle, paladin, or something like that. Like this is probably the best one to do if you're doing. There's a prestige class for monk, paladin, multi-class people that lets you progress both of them. In that case, you probably want to do this and then be a paladin. But yeah, I just did it because it's the dragon monk, and I'm like, cool, we're gonna do a dragon monk because it's the dragon campaign, sort of. So.
What is the horn key?
Like, what does it do?
Yeah, and who has it? Because I don't remember it.
I don't think I have it.
Summons an army of Windians.
That's right. So it
Yeah.
works. It works like there was a specific item it worked like that summons Valkyries or something like that, but in this case it's Windians or like summoned barbarians or I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
it's like it summons 3 of them I think, and they're like level 7 or level something like that, level 5. I don't know. They're not like super high level, but they're pretty decent actually, like for an item.
Yeah,
that
I
you
mean,
can-
summoning people is always good.
Yeah, but I don't remember who has that.
I would assume Boy has it then, because I don't think I have it. Well, I know I don't have it. It's not on my sheet. So, okay. I have to remember now. I have this staff to cast magic missile.
Yeah, secret.
Third caster
The
level.
book was just a +1 to wisdom, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this
Permanent
puts me at
+1.
11, but that still protects me from drain a little bit. So
I guess we'd all be full health too. I'd heal everyone,
Yeah, I already assumed
so
that.
anyone that has wounds can be unwounded. I guess it's me, Fox, and Boy. Okay.
Okay.
Still need to add that insight bonus into my saves from the Unseen Servant. I need to like create an effect so I can only have it on for 6 hours.
You did say unseen servant, right?
Yep.
Okay.
+1 on all saves while servant active. I forgot
All
the
right.
Wingardium Leviosa.
God, every time I
I
look at
think that sums that
France
up.
CMD, I'm always like, is that
Yep.
right? But I think it is because most of my bonuses to AC apply to CMD as well. Like they're like dodge bonuses and stuff like that. So my CMD's 37. Good luck grappling me. Actually, the dumb thing is, even with 37 CMD, you still get grabbed by a lot of stuff that have like the grab special ability
Yes.
because they usually just have really absurd. Like they just don't automatically grab you like they do for everyone else. They actually have to roll like above it, like 8 or whatever. Like they just grab you most of the time instead of all the time like for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it's save :1. I believe insight is just spelled out. Yes, that looks right. Do, 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 do.